So how have you been?
I'm doing very fine, thank you. I mean, we're all happy summer is coming.
Yes, yes,
Now,
yes.
weather is getting warmer and all that, so it's exciting.
Yeah, I got the notification as it means we're live. So I will just wait for people to join in. I will just do a notif. I have 4 minutes left, so I'll just do like tell them we are live.
Okay.
Yes, but we can catch up. So how's it been? I don't want you to talk too much because I'm still going to ask you this question. So I don't want you to talk too much now. Uh, Let me just add the link. Just gonna have the link paste on. People asking for link. Maybe they will. Nigerians can be tiring. You know, you have something to do. I just asking for link at 3 minutes to go. Mama. So we have 2 minutes to go. Okay, people, I'm joining already. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hi, Chika. Where are you joining us from? Manual migrating. Of course, you just have to listen really good. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening from your end if you're in Nigeria. Good morning. Anywhere you are, just know we are greeting you. I'm live in the studio with Olu today. Bukola, Bukola, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Chika Okore, welcome. Thank you for joining. Tolu, I can see you. Thank you so much for joining. So I'm in the studio right now with the Olu of Canada, and I'm super excited to have him in my YouTube studio. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I feel so privileged to have you in the studio with me, and I'm super glad you're doing this. Thank you so much. So I'm going to leave our guests to say hi to everyone, and then we can get into the main show. So Olu, please say hello to people and let them get to meet you.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're listening to us from today. My name is Olu. A couple of you know me as Olu Family on Instagram and on Twitter.
No, we know you as Olu of Canada.
Also call me Olu of Canada. I appreciate the name and the title so much. It's
Yes.
always so glad to connect with people, to share resources and information, to let people know from our own experience coming to Canada, and so that they can tap into the opportunities and avoid some of the mistakes we made when we came here as JJC.
Exactly.
Looking forward to the chat today and to answering some of the questions we've received as well.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, exactly. I love what you said about mistakes. So that's one of the things that prompted me to start my channel. It was about the fact that when I got to Canada, there was no information. Not that there wasn't, but maybe I didn't get the information about nurses and transitioning. So it was so difficult for me. So when I eventually got it, I'm like, no, I have to do something. I can't allow people to go through this thing as well. So you want to tell us about how has it been for you? How did you move into Canada? Then how has it been for you so far? Just give us then would you recommend Canada to people? Do you think it's somewhere you want people to come into?
Thank you. So I came to Canada initially as an international student myself.
Amazing.
That was about 6 years ago. Now a Canadian citizen, the opportunities are always there.
Yeah.
To study, to become a permanent resident, to become a citizen,
exactly.
to do amazingly well for yourself. In my own experience, it's been a wonderful experience. I had the opportunity of transitioning directly from being an international student to a permanent resident, which meant I didn't have to wait till I get a work permit or finished my master's degree at that time before I
Oh,
became.
that's really amazing. Yeah, that's really
And that's
amazing.
one of the things about Canada. The opportunities are always there. There's nothing saying you cannot transition from being an international student into a permanent resident if you find a PR program you're eligible for. At that time, I used the Federal Skilled Worker Program subcategory of the Express Entry program and got my
Okay.
PR just before I completed the 2-year master's degree.
Wow, before you completed your 2 years?
And
That's
then
amazing.
became a citizen after that. And yeah, I've been living in Canada all this while. I initially, when I came, I went to Saskatchewan.
Okay.
My master's degree at the University of Saskatchewan. And a lot of people
Pharmacist?
ask
This is
me,
pharmacist. This is
yes,
pharmacist. You're a pharmacist.
no, master's degree,
Oh,
my
oh, oh.
master's degree,
Oh, okay.
my master's degree at the University of Saskatchewan. And a lot of people ask me, why Saskatchewan? When I was living in Nigeria back then, for a lot of people were not even coming to Canada at that time. I was talking about like 6-7 years ago. People go to
Yeah.
US and UK and all that. And if you see anyone coming to Canada, they're probably going to Vancouver or Toronto or
Yeah. I think Toronto is so common.
It was very common. So to hear, even myself, I didn't know how to pronounce Saskatchewan until I got
Yeah. That's another thing.
the opportunities. I've always been there. The opportunity came to go to the UFS to get into a fully funded program at the university, and we just kind of like took a hold of it and trusted the process. And very glad it's been a wonderful experience about the opportunity of so many amazing things, completing my program, getting into a PhD that was fully funded as well, working in Canada and all that. There's always so much to talk about when you're talking about the education process.
Experience.
But, individual experience would always be different, but we can just like get into the questions and I can always share my personal experience and some of the information I have.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Thank you so much. So I just wanted to quickly pick my first question from what you said now, because I know my husband had to finish his master's before he became PR. So I wanted to find out what is the current trend. If I'm a student coming into Canada now, what's the current trend for me to get my PR? If I'm coming through the study route, like study permit route, how do I get my PR? What's the current trend?
Right. So in Canada, there are more than 100 immigration programs. Each of these immigration programs have their various requirements and processes. The opportunity is still there for anyone, even an international student who comes to Canada, and you're able to find a program you're eligible for, you can still apply to transition into PR anytime. The reason why a lot of people wait to finish their program is probably because the available PR programs, they do not have sufficient, they do not meet the requirements for those programs. So they need to complete their program and probably work in Canada for some time, like 1 year. When you do that, you have more opportunities to apply for either express entry using the Canadian experience class or a nomination in the province as a student or so many other opportunities. That's why a lot of people did that. Right now, the program I used in my own time was a Federal Skilled Worker Program.
Okay.
If you've been following Canadian immigration, that's a subcategory of the express entry. Since the COVID situation started in 2020, they haven't really done the Federal Skilled Worker draw since December 2020, which means if you're using a work experience from outside Canada and you're not going through a provincial nominee route, you most likely would have to complete your program and work in Canada for about 1 year or thereabout before you can apply for maybe a nomination in the student category or the Canadian experience class or programs like the TR to PR as well. But one thing I tell people is that as long as you are able to get that first foot in the door and you come to Canada as a student, the chances are very, very high. As long as you play your cards right, you are aware of the information, you are keeping yourself abreast of the trends and everything, you would always find one program to apply for.
The other to apply for that would grant you having your PR here.
Yeah.
Okay, but is there, I just wanted us to, is there like maybe just give us one of it, like the one that can, because I just want us to have like maybe something streamlined.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so give us an
examples of
example.
programs that students who have studied in Canada can use is the Canadian Experience class of the Express Entry. So the CEC is basically that you've completed your program, you got a post-graduation work permit, you've worked in Canada for at least 1 year. You
Okay.
can use that 1 year of work experience to apply through the CEC category of Express Entry. That's number one. Another
Okay.
program you can also use is that for some people, maybe because of age, because the Express Entry, both CEC and FSW are point-based program. They award points to you on the basis of your age, your level of education, your years of work experience, your language tests in IELTS or CELPIP and all that. If maybe you are scoring very low on those 4 points, another program you can use is to get a nomination in the province you've studied. Those
Okay.
are not point-based programs. We call them the provincial nominee program. But a lot of the provinces in Canada have student nominee programs, which is basically for people who have studied in their province. In
Okay.
Saskatchewan, for instance, if you studied in Saskatchewan and you
Mhm.
work for at least 6 months in the province after your program, that would make you eligible for the student category of nomination in Saskatchewan. In a place like British Columbia, if you do certain programs in health, in agriculture, in tech, you don't even need to have worked. Once you complete your program, you're eligible as long as it's a master's or a PhD to use that to apply for nomination. In each of the provinces in Canada, from Alberta to Prince Edward Island and all those provinces, they also have student categories of nominations. One thing I advise people to note is that Canada is a very big country with
Yeah,
different provinces. Each of those
exactly.
provinces are like saying mini countries within a larger country called Canada. Their requirements, the way they do things, the programs they prioritize, the work or the occupations that are in demand may be slightly different. So you have to check the
What
specific
is applicable?
to and know what is applicable in that place. But the opportunities are always there. The differences may be in maybe the programs they focus on, maybe
Yeah.
they require work experience. In Saskatchewan, for instance, a 6 months experience. In a place like Ontario, they may require you to either get a job offer or a 1 year experience. In
Okay.
somewhere like Manitoba, it's also 6 months experience after completing your program. If you go
Okay.
to places like Atlantic Canada, they also have their own programs. And the provinces in
Exactly.
Atlantic Canada are New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia. The advantage of studying in the Atlantic provinces is also that aside the express entry, aside the provincial nominee program, they also have one other PR program, which we call the Atlantic Pilots Program. Now, it started as a pilot in 2016 or 2017, but they've made it a permanent program this year in March, which is open to people who have studied in the province or who are able to get a job in Atlantic Canada to also use that to apply for
To
permanent.
apply for their permanent residence. Oh,
In
so I think
addition to all those programs, there's also another immigrant pilot program, which is currently ongoing in, I think, about 11 selected communities across Canada, where if you get a job in one of those communities, you can use that to get a community recommendation and apply for permanent residency as well.
applying for PR. Okay. Thank you so much. I just quickly want us to attend before I ask. I will still ask you questions, but
Hmm.
somebody dropped a question here, so I want us to just so that we don't forget. The person says, "Can a 2-2 university degree apply for masters in Canada?" So if I have a 2-2, can I apply for masters with my 2-2?
Right. It depends. And this is one of the questions we get a lot of time. I've written extensively on this. I have a lot of resources on this in on my page on Instagram
Your
and all
page.
that. But the best way to explain this is that universities in Canada have minimum grade that they look out for when you're applying for a master's degree. In
Okay.
a lot of universities, it is at least 70%, which would translate to like 3.5 on a scale of 5.0 in countries like Nigeria, which typically should be a 2-1. Also, given the fact that admission is highly competitive in Canada,
of course,
there are so many people applying, you want to put your best foot forward, you know. But if you have a 2-2, there are universities that may give you some consideration, and that would be on the basis of certain things. Number one is, for instance, if you're coming into a research-based program, try as much as possible to get a supervisor that is willing to supervise you. Even if you have
from Nigeria,
from a supervisor here in the university you're going to that is willing to supervise the research you want to come and do at the master's level. If you get somebody like that, they can put in words for you and say, even though this student's grade is considerably lower than the minimum, I'm interested in the research they are coming to do. I would be willing to
supervise them. Oh, amazing.
Number two is also that in a lot of these universities, they also focus on your grade in the last 2 years. So even if your overall grade is like 2.2, but maybe in your last 2 years, you had very good grades, 4 point something, 5.0 and all that. If they compare that to some of the other things you have and some of the other students that are also applying, they can give you a consideration on that basis. Admission decision it follows a very holistic process. What they put into consideration to give you an admission is not just your grade, you know. They look at your work experience, they look at your professional experience, they look at the recommendations from those that are writing your reference letter, they look at things like your statement of intent and all that, and they put all these things together to make a decision. It helps you push your case forward if you have a good grade. At least you know you've met the minimum requirement. If you do not, it means you have more things to show to demonstrate that you are
capable, eligible,
capable, and you have the knowledge and academic ability to get into the program.
So
but
I feel
those things are very difficult because it's highly competitive. A couple of people have given it a chance. They've tried and they got into it. Also, some programs may not be as competitive as other programs. Maybe a lot of people are not applying into those programs and all that. But if you're looking at something that's much more convenient, that you don't have to go this extra mile and all that, and you have a 2-2, there are other programs you can do that are not master's degree, but that are equally beneficial in Canada. They are called graduate certificate programs, mostly offered in colleges or postgraduate diploma that you can also do. They offer you the same benefits. If you do a master's degree of 1 year, you get a 1-year post-graduation work permit. If you do a graduate certificate of 1 year as well, you get a 1-year post-graduation work permit. If the duration of the program is 2 years, you get a 3-year post-graduation work permit after you program. So it's the same benefit you would get from doing a master's degree that you get those. You can also work as a student when you're doing those graduate certificates. The big difference is that sometimes when you come for programs like master's degree, because you're doing research, you may get a scholarship. But these graduate certificate programs do not really have scholarship, which means you'll be prepared to pay out of your pocket, but
exactly.
To come to Canada.
Exactly. So before I'm going to answer our questions. I see them in the chat box. I try to pin some. So what I'll do is, as it comes, we'll answer. So I see that we're interested in this question. So I will not even go into. I have my own question, but I'll just leave them for now so that we can answer your questions first, because we are here because of you guys. So I just quickly want to ask a question about what is it called? You mentioned something now about student loan. Yes. So student loan. What are the eligibility for student loan?
Right. So
government loan, is it government loan they call it, or student loan?
In Canada, for international students, there is no student loan or government loan that you can apply for yourself. A lot of the people that are eligible for loans, not scholarships, loans in Canada, loans. You either have to be a permanent resident or a citizen.
Exactly.
Or you have to get a permanent resident or a citizen to co-sign the loan for you.
To co-sign the loan for you. Oh,
because
amazing.
International
about the co-sign.
Resident and all that. They need somebody they can hold responsible.
I know.
pay back the loan. So that's why for international student government loans are not so popular. But there are third-party loans that people get from third-party organizations. It could be in your home country. Some of the popular ones are Prodigy Finance, Empower. People get all those loans. These loan organizations have certain schools they work with that can offer you the loan if you're going to those schools and be willing to support you.
Yeah. Okay, but if I come in as a PR and I'm also studying, I'm eligible for the government
100%.
loan. 100%. I also heard about grants.
Yes.
So if I get a loan, I also get a grant that is free, that I won't pay back.
So the way the government loan works is that if they assess your financial situation and they probably want to give a loan of, let's say, $15,000, out of that loan, they will support you with some grants. So they can say, and this is just an example, may not be an accurate figure, but they can say, okay, out of this $15,000 loan, your grant is $5,000, your loan is $10,000. So which means even though you are getting $15,000, you only have to pay back $10,000. So almost all government-approved loans, whether at the provincial level or the federal level, would come with grants. As long as
all of my friends was even telling me, if I why don't you get into the program? I said I can go let free money.
and they also give you the option, if you apply for a loan, maybe like 15,000 was approved for you, and you just want the grant alone, and you say, okay, what would the grant be? If they say the grant would be 5,000, then 10,000 would be the loan. You can say, okay, just give me the grant of the 5,000. I don't want to have the option of
that grant is free for me.
It's free. 100. You don't have to pay back. That's the benefit of being a PR or a citizen.
Exactly. I love that. I feel Canada is good with those things. I don't know. I've not lived in UK or US. They may have, but I particularly love the fact that Canada made provisions for newbies. Like for instance, when I came in, there was one Christmas, we had like things worth of $200 from the government, like provisions. They sent it to us because we are just coming. Because it was for me. My husband has been here, so it was sent to us. Then my son got a lot of things. They just tell us, okay, you're just coming. They put us into and we got a lot of things. So I feel that's really good about Canadian government. So there is a question here. And he said, I have IELTS with L7. I don't know what the person means, but I think the question is
reading 6, writing 7, speaking 8, overall 7.5. Is it good for a master's degree in Canada? The straightforward answer is yes. The not straightforward answer is that depending on the country you're coming for, you may not even need IELTS to study in Canada. So if the person, I don't know if it's Nigeria or other countries, as long as your previous education was taught in English language, Canada will not give you a waiver when it comes to language tests to study, not for PR.
Not for PR. To study.
Once your previous education was taught in English language, you will get a waiver for the IELTS. But the score the person showed to us is a very good score. If you're putting that as part of your application, you should be good to go.
It should be good to go. Okay. So let me just quickly take some other questions here. Is it possible to work as a student in Canada? If yes, are there restrictions in number of hours you have to work?
That's a very good question. 100% yes. As an international student, except otherwise stated on your permit, you are eligible to work 20 hours per week when the school is in session, and you can work full-time on scheduled break. So scheduled break is maybe after the end of the term, they give you a break, maybe reading week, there's a break or something. The summer months, so we are entering summer gradually right now. A lot of schools will take the summer months off, which is usually May to August, where students can work full-time during those periods. So, but when school is in session, you have to be enrolled full-time in school, but you are still allowed to work for 20 hours per week outside the campus in Canada.
20 hours per week. I think that's not a bad, because even when you're out of school, it's 40 hours, except you're doing overtime. So 20 hours is not a bad one. So this one says, can paid internship work experience be used for Express Entry?
100% yes, as long as it's not an internship or a work experience you gathered when you were a student in Canada. If it's an internship work when you were still living outside Canada, it's paid internship. It matches a national occupation classification that is eligible for express entry, you can use that. You just have to provide the employment reference letter, the pay slip, and other information you can provide to prove that you truly did the work.
Okay, thank you so much. Then this one says, can I make use of my brother-in-law as sponsor? I think if he has a PR, I'm not sure.
I don't know what sponsor, maybe for study as a sponsor to come and study in Canada. If that's what the person is saying, yes, you can use your brother-in-law, but the person must be able to show satisfactorily to the visa officers that they have the money to support you, provide evidence of how they've been supporting you in the past, and also be able to show that supporting you would not hinder them from other financial responsibilities.
Exactly, and obligations.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if I have any more question here. A medical doctor in Nigeria coming to Canada, how can you get? Well, I don't know if Olu is vast in this, but I'm not so vast in this.
Yeah, I can take that. So if the person's interest is in practicing in Canada as a medical doctor, there are licensing examinations and processes you have to follow to be able to do that. The number one preparation I would advise you, and which is probably something you've done when you're applying for your PR, is to do the evaluation of your degree with the Medical Council of Canada, which is the MCC. And then from there, they would let you know when they evaluate you and say, this is licensing process you can follow, and you start preparing for that. There are lots of groups, even on Instagram, on Twitter, where people come together to provide information to themselves on preparing for those licensing exams. So try to work with people that are in the field or that came to Canada as immigrants and they've been able to successfully, go through the licensing process and practicing in Canada. But that's one thing to keep in mind, that it may take you some time. You have to go through the licensing process.
Yes,
I'm aware it's more difficult than the UK. It takes longer than the UK.
It takes longer than the UK. Yes, so I just
also want to think of what do I want to be doing as a job while I'm going through the licensing process, so that you at least have some things to be doing.
Yes, so I just quickly want to chip in for the person asking about doctor. You have to know that medical practice in Canada is patience. I'm also in the medical practice here. It requires patience. It means that you settled up that you are coming to Canada. Also, you have to be willing to do some delayed gratifications. You will not get everything at once. No, I don't have everything. I don't have everything at once now. People might think you have money. I don't have money. I'm still trying to get things together. So it takes time. Then you also have to know the province you are going to. Provinces differs for medical students or medical personnel. So in province A, they can say they need IELTS. Province B can say they don't need it. So the province you are going to is what you should face and get people in that line, in that province, get information. I'm still going to try to bring a doctor that is established here to the channel to speak to us. I really want to do that because people are asking about that information. But you have to know that it differs. So get people in your province, ask them questions, and, be willing to, be patient. It requires patience. Yes, so let us, let me look for, I think there's a question here. I don't know, after a year postgraduate course and a year postgraduate work and miss.
That's a good question. Would you be asked to leave Canada? If you've applied for your PR before your 1 year post-graduation work permit expires, you would be eligible for what we call the bridging open work permit. That's if you've submitted a PR application. They've invited you either through express entry, either through nomination or what have you, and you submitted your PR application before your post-graduation work permit expires. You can apply for a bridging open work permit. What that gives you the opportunity to do is to continue to work until your permanent residence a decision is made on your PR application.
On your PR.
In the absence of that, if you've not applied for a PR and your 1 year post-graduation work permit is about to expire, if it expires, you have to leave Canada. That's important. What a lot of people would do would be that before that 1 year expires, if your interest is to still remain in Canada, there are a couple of things you can do. You have to apply for another visa. Either you look for an employer that is ready to sponsor you for an employer-specific work permit. You get a job, they get an LMIA, you can apply for work permit. If that is not coming forward, you can apply to go back to school. Go back to school, apply for a study permit within Canada, and you will be able to still remain in Canada legally. The only thing to note with that is that even if you go back to school, you will not be eligible for another post-graduation work permit. The post-graduation work permit is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Once you've applied, you've gotten your PGWP once. If you decide to go to school, you cannot apply for it again. You can apply for a work permit that an employer would sponsor you, but it will not be because you've studied in Canada. That's true. The other thing other people would do would be, if they are not interested in going back to school, maybe because of the cost, they can't find an employer to sponsor them, they've not applied for PR, you can also apply for a visitor's record to maintain legal status in Canada. With that, you don't have to leave Canada, but it means that you've crossed to a visitor's record and you're not eligible to work legally in Canada with a visitor's record. But at least that will give you a legal status
to in Canada
and remain in Canada. If you're not doing any of those things and your visa expires or your permit expires, you have to leave.
You have to go. Nobody will want that, because when I'm here, go back. Where? I'm going to stay. We're going to do everything. So I just feel that with everything has to do with information that we have. There is something for everybody.
Right.
You just need to have the right information. Follow Uno Road.
Exactly.
Please, Olufemi Lawyer has a page on Instagram. Please go. I think it's Olufemi Lawyer, your Instagram name, right?
Right.
Just, he has a lot of information. Like every day you go to his page, there's something new to learn. I'm like, this guy is so. That's why I just have to invite you to my channel. So he has a lot of, and he has I think he has a blog where you can read. This is a huge bunch of what do I put in, opportunity if you are looking for coming to Canada to school, to work, to whatever. He has very amazing information. So this person says, I don't know about nursing scholarships, so I'll leave it to Olu to answer this question. I'm not sure. I've not seen. Do you think there are?
If the person is coming for a nursing degree at the undergraduate level, undergraduate scholarships are so rare. The reason why that is so is because you're doing a 4-year program. Averagely, as an international student, you're probably paying like maybe $15,000-$20,000 per year. If you look at the 4-year, that's $80,000 on tuition alone. Yeah. If you add living expenses, it runs up to about $100,000.
Wow.
It's a lot of money. Some universities may give you entrance scholarships.
Yeah.
Universities I recommend to people to look at when they are looking for scholarships in Canada are what we call the U15 universities. So the U15 universities are the Ivy, kind of like elite universities in Canada that have a lot of money. If you go to www.u, alphabet U, 15, and that's the number 15, www.u15.ca.
Okay.
U15.ca, you see a list of those 15 universities, the funds they have and everything. They are the ones that they have a lot of money to give to international students and all that. For undergraduate scholarship, they also have some entrance scholarships. It may not cover the entire 4-year, but even if it's 5,000, 10,000, anything you get as an would help you in the long run. So those are and a lot of them have nursing degrees as well. So you can always look at that. Any university you go to, if you go to their website, they will always have their finance section. If you check the finance section of their website, you would see the available scholarships and what you can apply for.
Okay, so this person says, as a nurse in Nigeria with specialty and BNSC planning to relocate to Canada, do you need to enroll for any course before one can practice? Well, you don't need to enroll for any course, because this is what I have. I have a bachelor's in nursing and I'm also here. What you need to do is that you have to first determine a migration route. I tell nurses not to make the mistake of starting NAS first, or you can do them alongside. So Olufemi, NAS is the assessment for nurses here. So you don't want to start that first without you. Canada is not UK. UK can sponsor you. UK, I don't know how UK does that thing. They sponsor everybody. Canada at the moment, we don't sponsor people to come. You have to find yourself here first, then meet the opportunity. But UK will even bring you from your bedroom and take it to UK. Canada does not do that. So please find a migration route first as a nurse. When you have settled the migration route, I came in here as a PR through my husband. My husband is my primary sponsor. He filed for my PR. So it was quite easy for me. Some people still got it hard with that because within 6 months, my PR was ready. So you want to find a way first. Then you can do assessments alongside. That's your nursing assessment. You don't need to do any course. The only time you are doing a course is when you get here, if they tell you to do a bridging program before you can become RN. That's when you can do a course. But if not, you can also challenge exams. There are provinces that now allow nurses to challenge exams. If you go to my YouTube channel, I have a lot of them there. Provinces like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, even Ontario, although Ontario is not really giving the yes, but they allow you to bring your US NCLEX to come and practice as a nurse. So if you have a nurse that has a US NCLEX, tell them to just go to Ontario. Ontario will accept them with open arms. Alberta will not accept you. Alberta is strong-headed. They will not take you. Alberta is so proud. They will not take you. They would take you, but they will have you to go through the route very long. But Ontario will welcome you and say, come and start working. We need nurses. But Alberta, so you have to know all this information. That's why I say it's very important that you stick to channels like mine and follow people like Olufemi too. If you know you want to come to Canada, it's very important. So I'll just go to, I don't know if we have any other question here. If you don't have, let me check. Answer that one. Okay. So this person said, what do I need to work as RN in Canada with BS for another country? What you need to work as RN, I don't want to, after this, I'm not taking the RN questions anymore because I don't want to keep my guests. I want us to talk about immigrations while he's here. Then I can take nursing questions in the next 30 minutes after he leaves or whatever. But if you want to work as RN in Canada from any country, you will still need NAS. The first thing you need to do after deciding how to come into Canada is your NAS assessment. I have the video on my channel, Becoming a Canadian Nurse, part 1 and 2. You need to watch that and know that what you need is that you need to decide a route first to come to Canada, then start your NAS assessment. Very important. And NAS assessment is not what you want to just do with a blind eyes. No, you have to follow some certain rules. It's on my channel. I have a video there. When you're done, you can browse through my channel or just send me a message and I'll send you the link. So let us go to the immigration question. I don't want to keep. So there is this particular question that I know people usually ask. So for people that are married with children, what is the best route for them to move into Canada? Because we have a lot, they say I have 5 children. What is their best bet or what are the options they have? Married people living in Nigeria, they want to move to Canada.
The way I like to answer a question like that is that keep in mind, like I said earlier, there are 100 immigration programs in Canada. The best route for you is the route you are eligible for. Individual situation would always differ. For person A, maybe because of their age and work experience, maybe they can apply for PR straightforward. Maybe person B needs a provincial nominee program. So it's not a straightforward yes or no. Some people would have to come to Canada as a student first. But the possible options that are available to you is to either apply for a permanent resident, either as express entry federal skilled worker, either through a provincial nominee program. That's number 1. Okay. The second option to come is to come on an open work permit. It allows you to come with your family, but for that, you need to first of all get a job offer in Canada. If you get a job offer in Canada, the employer would get what we call the labor market impact assessment. If they get that, you can now apply for work permit with yourself and with your family members. If those 2 options are not possible, you can come to Canada to study. If you come to Canada to study as an international student, Canadian law permits you as an international student to also still come to Canada with your family members. Your children can get either a study permit or a visitor's record that still allows them to study in Canada, and your spouse can get the spousal open work permit. Individually, to make that decision, you have to sit down, look at the various requirements of those programs I mentioned, the express entry, the provincial nominee program in each of those provinces, the work permit if you have a job that is highly in demand and you can get an employer to offer you a job and sponsor you, or the study route. And then you can determine or decide out of those 3 to 4 options which one would suit your own specific situation.
Exactly. I think that's what I usually tell people to. The situations are different.
Right.
So you have to just check out for which one you be. That's why I say what I would first advise anybody coming to Canada is that browse through as many information as you can get. Then look at who you are, your personality, funds, family, which one is best for me at this time. Then go for it. There is no way that is best or low to come into Canada. And you can start as anything when you are here. It does not matter where you start from. It doesn't matter that, oh, because I'm a nurse, I've started as a nurse on day 2 of coming to Canada. No, I started working as PSW, personal support worker. So I was earning very low, but then it's gradually, little by little, at least you are here and opportunities are enough. What I like to always tell people is, if I stay in back home in Nigeria where I was a nurse manager, I earned more than when I was here, like when I first came in here, like just when I first came in here. But security-wise, well, if they kill me now, will I be nurse manager? But if I'm here, nobody's going to kill me, like in court, because the securities are there. So before you even die, it takes a lot of things. Yeah, because if I want to cross the road now, there's something telling the driver that there's a pedestrian crossing. You can't eat me. It's telling you that I'm a pedestrian, I want to cross. So there are a lot of factors in place for us. So at least be here first and gradually pick your life. So that's what I would just say. Good evening. I'd like to know if I can.
I guess the person means if I can use general or academic IELTS to apply for PR in Canada. If you're applying for PR in Canada, the acceptable language test is the general training. So you cannot use academic IELTS to apply for PR. It has to be general training.
It has to be general. And
then the required band score, we usually recommend and advise people to work towards having at least a CLB 9. A CLB 9 in IELTS is having at least 8 in your listening and 7 in other categories. So your reading, speaking, writing should be at least 7. 8 in listening, 7 in other categories would be what I would recommend for you to work towards. Okay. I think we've answered this question also. Can my family join me 100%? Yes. Okay. You can either apply together with them or you can apply to come first. So if you get here, you can now apply for your spouse, your wife, to apply for a spousal open work permit, and your children either a study permit or a visitor's record as well.
Is it possible for me to in a province with IELTS band? I'm not sure if this is.
If you check the province, if their language score, it would depend on the province, but I can categorically tell you that a lot of provinces would at least expect you to have a CLB 7, which is having 66666 across all the 4 categories.
Across all the boards.
That would be the minimum in many provinces that are.
So having 6.0.
6.0 in listening, in reading, in writing, in speaking.
Okay, as a minimum.
As a minimum.
What
would be recommendable for you to work towards?
Okay, this person says, I recently got an admission offer to shredding, but finance are looking stubborn. Okay. Scholarship or loan?
I think we touched on this too briefly.
Yeah,
college programs usually do not give you scholarships because they are college programs. You can talk to the International Student Office at the college and ask them about the finance that they have for international students. You can also look for private loans. I know that loans like Prodigy Finance and Empower also only finance university programs. But there may be other private loan organizations out there that will be able to support you as a college student.
Yes, and we also spoke about having PR. So if you have a PR, of course, you are eligible for the government loans. Other than that, you can just check like that. I put the www.u15.ca. You can check if they have programs that suit you that have fundings.
Right.
So just check the website. Then this person says, "Can my sister send me an invitation?" Yes, but I want you to talk to us about visitors program here. Like, what are there benefits around it? Like, if I want to stay as a visitor, do I have benefits currently, or I have
Very
to go
good question. So if you apply to visit Canada as a visitor, as the name implies, you're a visitor. You are just coming to visit for tourism, to see family members and all that. Your relatives, your family members, your sister can send you an invitation as long as they have a valid status in Canada. They can invite you, but if you come to Canada as a visitor, keep in mind that you cannot do anything other than visit. You can't work legally. You don't have social insurance number. You have to provide your own health insurance and all that.
Yes.
There's nothing you can do with that other than to visit your family. Also, when you come to Canada as a visitor, the longest duration you are expected to stay, even if your visa is 5 years, would be 6 months. They will stamp you for 6 months when you come into the country. What a couple of people have been able to do would be, maybe in that 6 months of visiting Canada, you can look for jobs. You are closer to employers. They can interview you on ground. And if they give you that job offer, you can now use that to either go back home to apply for a work permit and then come back to Canada, or apply from within Canada as if you are outside Canada.
Okay.
So if you've done your visitor's visa, you've done your biometric, it's valid for 10 years, which means you don't have to go out to do another biometrics. But when you are submitting your application for either the work permit or the study permit from within Canada, you have to apply as if you're applying outside Canada, which means you are submitting your application to an office that is outside Canada. Okay. If that office does not get back to you within the 6 months that you are in Canada or allowed to stay in Canada as a visitor, either you go back home or you apply to extend that visitor's record again. So you can apply to extend your visitor's record in Canada for another 6 months.
For more than 6 months. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to provide the justification on why you came in as a visitor, you now want to extend your visitor status. So if you're able to provide convincing reason to the IRCC, they would extend your visitor's record for you as well. But like I said, you can't work legally, you cannot go to school, but you can look for a job, you can connect with employers, if you can look for admission if you get into a school, then submit your application to an office outside Canada. So those are the things
you can do. Yeah, I think that's an amazing one. Thank you. So easier. Well, I think it's easier to. Will I say it's easier? Olu, will you say it's easier?
Depends on the program you're looking for. So if I think maybe the person is making reference to maybe low grade. If you have a 2-2, for instance, it's easier for you to get a master's degree in UK because they have more schools, they have more options. UK is easier to get admission with a low grade compared to Canada.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, so I would just, this question, let's just leave the BSc part. I just want us to answer over, let's have I want us to touch provincial nomination aspect of coming to Canada, the express entry, as in let's just touch some route to come into Canada, like some basic routes to come into Canada, and maybe what they will need, so that we'll just get that clarification once and for all.
Right.
Whether it knows or not.
So the basic routes to come to Canada, again, the best route is the route you are eligible for.
Absolutely.
If I say the best route is permanent residency and you are not eligible,
for it,
it's not the best route for you.
Exactly.
The best route to come to Canada is the route you are eligible for.
You are eligible for.
Common routes that a lot of people are using to come to Canada are basically 3 or 4. Come to Canada as an international student, and I will start with that. What do you need to come to Canada as an international
student?
I tell people you need to be able to answer 6 questions.
Okay.
One question is, what do you want to study? You want to come to Canada as a student, you must have what you want to study.
Exactly.
What do you want to study and at what level? Is it a master's degree? Is it a bachelor's degree? Maybe you just finished high school. Maybe you've looked at masters, you are not eligible, maybe it's graduate certificate. You have that in mind. What you want to study at what level? That's number 1. Number 2 thing is that which universities or colleges offer the program you want to study. I want to do a master's degree in economics in Canada. Maybe not all universities in Canada would be offering a master's degree in Canada.
Absolutely.
That's the next question you have to work on. I've decided the program I want to do. Where can I find this program in Canada? And Google helps you with a lot of this. If you go on Google and say master's degree in psychology in Canada, it will give you a list of the universities offering the program. There are also databases you can use. The popular one is the University Study Database. If you go to www.universitystudy.ca, You can university study, university and study, study.ca. You can use that to search for the programs or the universities offering the program you are interested in. That's a question to answer. Number 3 would now be, what are the admission requirements? So if it gives you 10 schools, you would find out that the admission requirement may also be slightly different.
Of course.
Schools, they have different expectations, maybe grade, maybe recommendation letter, maybe experience and all that. You look at the admission requirements. It's very, very important. When you are able to look at that, you now answer the 4th question. Am I eligible for this program? Looking at the minimum admission requirement, you'll be able to tell and say, okay, it looks like I have a chance. I meet the minimum requirement, I have the grade requirement, I have the experience they want and everything. I'm eligible to apply. The 5th question will now be, when and how would I apply for this admission? By when, I mean, what is the application deadline? This information also varies from school to school. School A may say the deadline is January 15. School B will say it's February 1. So those are things you have to do yourself and look at and say, when do I apply? How do I apply? What is the application fee? When do I have to send in my documents? How do I send my document? The data scanned copy. Do I have to send the original to them? That's number 5. The number 6 question would now be, what or how would I finance my education? From looking at the admission requirements, when and how to apply, you would see information on the school fees. Very, very important to start thinking of how you pay for your study.
Exactly.
You're applying for a school that the tuition is $40,000. You do not have scholarship, and you don't have the $40,000. It's better you look for another school.
Sorry to cut it short. I have a friend, when he got here, so I think something happened with the parent. They couldn't, sponsor like they promised to sponsor. He said he that night wanted to go back to Nigeria. I was just crying and like, how is he going to manage?
Exactly. It's a lot of work. So those are the things. Those are the 6 questions you want to answer. What do I want to study and at what level? Which universities offer the program? What are the admission requirements? Am I eligible? When and how can I apply? What are my funding options for this program? Generally, when you're applying for an undergraduate program in Canada, you just need your O-level. That's the document. Terms of the
that's undergraduate. You are saying I just finished secondary school and I want to come and do bachelor's.
I want to do bachelor's. You only need your O-level. Your WAEC or NECO would be accepted, or whatever equivalence of that you have from your country. If you're coming for a master's degree, the key documents you would need you need your transcript for your bachelor's degree, which would show your grade. You would need to write a letter of intent. Some may call it statement of purpose. Some may call it letter of motivation and word of view.
Letter of motivation.
It's just something showing you, why do you want to do this program? What's your motivation? Why are you interested in the program? You need that. The 3rd document you would need would be your resume. You need your resume showing your professional experience, your work experience, your academic competence, and all that. You need that. The 4th document you would need for a master's degree in many universities would be a recommendation letter. Some may say 2, some may say 3, from people who have taught you before or that you've worked with in the past. You can see that from everything I've mentioned, I did not mention IELTS because we get these questions a lot of time, and we've clarified and explained that the requirement for language test is for people who have not studied in a program that was English language before. If you're coming from a place like Nigeria where the language of instruction is English, you do not need IELTS to study in Canada. I get this question at least 3, 4, 5 times almost every day, and we still, make this clarification and all that. As long as your previous education was taught in
English language,
you're coming from a country like Nigeria, like Ghana, and all that, you don't need IELTS to study in Canada. The other documents or standardized tests you may need, like GRE and GMAT, will depend on the program you want to do. And those ones are largely for finance or business-related program. You want to do an MBA, you want to do a Master of Finance, business-related program may require you to do GMAT or GRA, but it's dependent on the school you're applying to. That's why some of the things I said you should do is to check the admission requirement in the particular school so you know if you need any of that or not. Because some school may not need it even for finance related program. So that's that to keep in mind. And also if you're doing a research-based program, they may require you to write a proposed research. Some may also need you to look for a supervisor, like I mentioned earlier. Supervise your research. So those things will be dependent on the particular university. Once you are able to narrow down your choice of program and the schools offering the program, then check the admission requirement to know what you need. But the general document for masters, for O-level, the general document will be your WAEC result alone or your NECO result. For master's degree, the general documents will be your transcript, your resume, your statement of intent, your letters of recommendation. If you are applying for programs like the graduate certificate I mentioned that people who have a low grade can apply to, you would also need your transcript and maybe your resume. So for those ones, you won't need your statement of intent and recommendation letters because they are also college graduate certificate programs as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are the basic documents you need. And once you get your admission, you're good to go. You've played the first half of the match. You can now play the second half and apply for your study visa. So when you're applying for your study visa, the documents you would need at that point would be largely the proof that you've gotten an admission in Canada.
Yes.
Very, very important. Your letter of acceptance, the proof that you have sufficient money
to
support yourself in Canada.
For fund.
Money makes the world go round.
Yeah.
So to show to them that even though you are eligible as an international student to work 20 hours, like we mentioned earlier,
yeah,
people want you to give the impression that it's the work you're coming to Canada to do that you would use to support yourself. So before you carry your bag from your home country and come to Canada, you must show to them that you have enough money to take care of yourself without having to work in Canada. In terms of how much would you need, that would depend on what your school fees is.
Okay.
Depending on the school you're going to and the living expenses. So the living expenses is the one the government has set a minimum target for.
Okay.
National student for your living expenses, which covers your accommodation, feeding, in a year, you need at least $10,000.
Yes.
Whatever your tuition now is, you have that to your $10,000 to know what you need into that. But that's generally how that works. So you have to show that you've gotten an admission, that you have enough money, support yourself, and then provide other additional documents like your international passport, medical test, police reports, and every other thing to support your application as well.
Yeah, so for that proof of fund, I just quickly want to ask, do they monitor, can I borrow money from my friends, family, put there for them to verify? Do they monitor it constantly or?
Yes, they do. There is part of the things they actually put concentration on, especially for countries like Nigeria and all that. You see that they've rejected the application and they will say, I'm not satisfied that this money is not just for demonstration purpose, which means they've probably figured out that you borrow the money, there's no flow in your account. That's why they expect you to show a statement of account of at least 4 months. So that you can know that steadily the money
was coming into the account.
It was coming in, it was going out to maintain the balance that they need in the last 4 months. Generally, IRCC does not allow you, it's against the law to borrow the money for demonstration purpose. They can flag you for misrepresentation. They know you really, really need the money. And you would actually, when you come into the country, to be honest, at least to get started for a couple of months before you probably get a job and all that, you will need the money to settle down in Canada as
well. This person says, can one get a PNP after 1 year graduate program?
If you're eligible, you can apply. From Seneca College, you can apply to any province that you're eligible for. It's not impossible, but what I recommend for people who are coming for a 1 year program is to plan very well.
Okay.
With COVID situation, with the delay in processing applications, with the delay in getting PR because of the COVID situation and everything, you have to be very, very proactive. Because if you do a 1-year program, you get just a 1-year post-graduation work permit.
Okay.
And you have that just 1 year to transition into PR, which means you're already looking at your options before you even finish the program so that you are not left stranded as well. You have to plan ahead. It's not impossible, but you have to be on your A game and be looking at the options. You are not waiting to the last minute for you to now be caught unawares.
Exactly. So for study route, what should be the proof for a family of 3? I really don't get this question.
Yeah, I think the person is asking for the proof of fund for a family of 3. Again, it will be your tuition plus your living expenses as the student, 10,000.
Plus those 3 people.
The living expenses for the 3 people. So the government has set a target. Your tuition,
yes.
Living expenses for the student is 10,000. The living expenses for the first family member, maybe your spouse, is $4,000.
Okay.
Living expenses for each of the additional family members is $3,000 each.
Wow.
So if you say you have 2 children, yourself, maybe your husband in this case, and 2 children, then it will mean your own living expenses of 10,000, 4,000 for your husband, that's 14,000.
Already?
1,000 for the first child, that's 17,000. 3,000 for the
second, 20.
That's 20 plus
$20,000
school fees. So that's
$20,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now you're leaving your proof of fund plus your school fees.
So am I supposed to provide proof of fund for the number of years that my course is?
Very good question. So even if your program is more than 1 year, the focus initially when you are applying for your visa is on the first year.
It's on the first year.
So your tuition and living expenses is in the first year, and then you must be able to demonstrate and show that these are the sources of income and assets and everything, other things I have that would make me be able to generate the fund I need in the subsequent years. But the raw cash you are expected to show would be for the first year, but you must also be able to show that I have other things that would allow me generate income to pay for the subsequent years as well.
Okay, so this person said, we study, or is it possible to invite my siblings?
As what? So as an international student, yeah, it depends on what you want to invite them for, is what I mean. If you're a student in Canada, you come to Canada as a student, you can invite your siblings to visit you. You can write a letter of invitation for them as a visitor. That was why I asked as what.
As what, okay.
But you cannot add your sibling to your application to accompany you as maybe on a work permit, for instance. That's just for your spouse.
Okay.
And the visitor's record is just for your own children. So your sibling cannot accompany you as an international student. But when you get here, you've settled in Canada, you can invite them as a visitor to come and visit you temporarily and go back home.
Then if they are able to secure a job within that 6 months, they can stay.
They can apply for work permit.
Or secure an admission.
Or secure an admission, then they can apply for their own study permit or work permit to an office outside Canada.
So Miriam, I know we just answered your question. That's right. We just answered your question. I think we answered this question too. Yes.
Yeah, we answered that.
We answered this question already. So that's a yes. Where is the what? Okay, for Omni College, nurses, if we have any nurse here, let me just make this announcement quickly. Olu, please permit me. If you have any nurse here that is interested in Omni College, on the 14th, I have another live with a nurse that has secured admission in Omni College. She's in the program. She's going to talk to us about Omni College. If you have, the flyers will be out later this evening. If you have anybody interested in Omni College, it's also a good route for nurses to come into Canada. And I think it's amazing because they have people they work with that will make your because it's study route, right? So they have people they work with that will make your visas faster and all that. So it's a very good one, but you need information. I don't want also Toby to come. I'm stuck. No. Come and get the information. If you feel it's a good one for you, you come. So 14th, we have a live on Omni College, please. I've answered that question. What is the name of the loan company for university programs? I don't think they have a name. Olu, do they have a name?
I just mentioned the example of some of the ones you can check. Empower, M and Power, okay. You can Google that. Okay. PROVINCIAL Finance, you can Google that if they are offering something in the
Empower, what else did you say again?
Prodigy Finance, which is PRODIGY Finance. Okay. Well, those are some of the ones you can check out.
And Power, okay.
And they have specific schools they work with, so maybe they would have something.
Maybe they have
you're going to.
How does the spousal work permit, open work permit work?
Very good question. Spousal open work permit is one of the work permits you can apply for without getting a job offer in Canada. As the name implies, a spousal open work permit, which is for spouses of international students in Canada, or spouses of people that are temporary workers in Canada. So if your spouse is studying in Canada, they can put in an application for a spousal open work permit for you.
Okay.
The one thing to take note of is that the duration of your work permit will be based on the duration of their own study permit. It would not give you a work permit more than the duration of the initial student itself. So if the student has a 2-year study permit, your own spousal open work permit too will be 2 years. If their study permit expires today, your work permit too, you are joined together from heaven and on earth.
So that means I have to work around getting my stay within that 2 years or 3 years program.
Exactly. You have to work within that stay. The good thing for spousal open work permits is that the work the other spouse is doing, if they get a good job that is eligible for express entry or any PR application, they can also use it to apply for permanent residency as well for their family. So that's just it. There's no special requirement other than the fact that you must have a spouse that is an international student in Canada or coming to Canada as an international student, or a spouse that is a temporary worker in Canada.
So for this spousal work permit, how do I apply? I just go to the CIC website to apply for it.
Website, you fill the questionnaire, they ask you a couple of questions. Do you have a spouse in Canada that is a student? And once you fill out all those questionnaire, it populates the placeholder for you for the documents you would need. You submit all the documents and the process it.
Okay, so thank you so much. I think we still have some questions. We'll try to watch them. So for this question, I say my sponsor showed for BSc nursing. For the I don't know if it's going to be the same. So it also depends on the school you're going to and their tuition. But the latest information I have was for if you want to do what's this program called now? If you are transitioning, there's a name it's called, I've forgotten. So I think it is $3,000 per semester if you have a PR. If you don't have a PR, it's more than that. So just, and they have, I think they have, is it 2 or 3 semesters per year? I'm not sure. But I think I calculated and it was roughly like 20,000 that you need as a PR. So imagine without being a PR, you need like times 2 or times 3 of that. So as a PR, you get some reduction. If you don't have a PR, you are looking for times 2 or times 3. If it's 20,000, we're talking about 40,000 for you or above. If you don't have a PR. So I think that's sorts that. Let me see if we have how can I locate Canada with my family? Yes, I think he has answered this question. You have a lot of routes. You have to study routes is there, express entry, PNP. You have to look for the one that suits you most.
Right. That you're eligible for.
Yeah, that you're eligible for. Then you apply.
Almost all the programs allows you to come with your family. You know,
almost all.
Even if for students, we've touched on how you can come to Canada with your family as a student and all that. You just have to do you want to come do a master's degree? Are you able to get a job? Do you have enough to do a provincial nominee program? Once you narrow that down, the decision on what next to do would follow.
Then the provincial nominee program, I want to understand, is it, because from my understanding, I feel it's part of express entry. Is it part, like if I apply for express entry, am I also eligible for PNP or is it separate?
Not entirely. So
okay.
The way the nominee program works is that each province, they have their own provincial nominee program and requirement. There are some nomination programs that are also aligned with express entry. Those ones are nominated by a province and it's under their express entry category. What that would do with that is that once you get the nomination, it gives you 600 points to add to your express entry score. That way, your express entry point goes up, you still get an invite to apply for express entry and all that. But there are also other categories of nominee programs that are not aligned with express entry. If you get nominated for those ones, it means you don't have to go into an express entry pool and all that. Once you get your nomination certificate, you just apply directly for permanent residency. And those are like examples of, in Saskatchewan, for instance, they call them occupation in demand, which means they look at the occupations that are in demand in their province that they need people for. When they nominate you for that, even if you do not have an express entry profile, you can directly apply for PR after your nomination.
Okay, so let's quickly answer this question. Does the spousal permit also work if the other spouse has a PR?
No. So the spousal open work permit is for temporary resident. If the other spouse has a PR, however, they can sponsor you directly for PR. They don't need to do a work permit. They can
because my husband,
you exactly directly for a PR. Yeah. Open work permit, spousal open work permit is for temporary resident. If your spouse has a PR, they can sponsor you for PR. If you're already within Canada when they are sponsoring you, then there's a temporary work permit you can apply for just to continue working until your PR is approved. But if you're outside Canada, they will only sponsor you for a PR directly.
I don't get this question. Do you understand it?
What about spousal work permit that is issued and spouse leaves Canada within the partners? I don't understand what the person is saying, but I think my interpretation is that if you are still studying in Canada, your spouse gets a work permit and they leave Canada. Of course, it's a work permit, they can go in and come out of Canada at any time. Okay. It doesn't mean you must compulsorily stay with the student, you know. But the student must continue to remain enrolled in their own program.
In their own, okay. In their own program, yes.
You mentioned this as well. So it's a decision you have to make if you have enough funds. You know, remember I did a breakdown of the fund. So if you have enough funds and other assets to show that you can support yourself and your family without having to work in Canada, you can apply together. The option is also there for you to apply for your own study permit first and then apply for other
apply for them later when you are settled.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can click that.
Use the official rates. So okay. Yeah, I think I get the question.
You gave me the money to be in Naira in my account. That's because I'm still going to be in Nigeria.
It can be in Naira, it can be in dollar. They just need the equivalent of the Canadian dollar.
They just need the, okay.
But I think this person is asking about the exchange rate. So it has to be the official rate. So it's not black market rates, which helps a lot of international students.
Well, I think you can process your Canadian visa with. So it depends, like we have said, it depends on which program you are coming for and their requirements. So if a program says, like if you want to do express entry, now I realize that the highest degree is what you put in for express entry so that you can get more points. So if you have RNRM now, somebody that has a BSc nursing gets more points than you do because you have RNRM that is not equivalent still to BNSC. So it depends on which program you are coming for and then their requirements. But there is nothing that cannot be used or something that can be used. It depends on the program. So streamline your program, what you have. Like if I have BSc now, I want to look out for opportunities around BSc. So streamline to opportunities around what you have. I know we can't answer every question actually. So what we can do is follow Olufemi Loye, read his blog. You can also, and for those on this live, don't worry, I have the link to his Telegram group. Yes, so if you are from this live, just let me know you're on the live. I'm going to check too. I can give you the link to his Telegram group to follow up discussions. You know, it helps you. It opens up your understanding, and people's testimony inspires you to know that you can actually do it when you commit to it. So if you're on this live, let me know. Send me a message on the Fella later or my YouTube channel, YouTube studio. I'll send you a link to his Telegram group for study and for, I think he has 2. Yeah. So you see the one you want to join before relocating. I'm not sure. Do you think this?
Yes. Yeah. People get jobs before relocating. You just have to complete the process. You have to start
first. Sorry, we didn't have how do I put it now? Permission to come into Canada first.
No, you don't have to. You don't need a permission before you start looking for a job. So, okay. Because now I'll break this down into like maybe 2 or 3 categories. There are people who they've applied for PR, they are waiting for a decision, or they've gotten a decision of their PR, they have their confirmation and everything, they are just waiting to come and land in Canada.
Okay.
You can start looking for jobs.
What if I don't have any of those?
Even if you don't have any of those, you can still look for jobs. There
So
are
if I get the job, how do I move? Would the
then the
company
employer can offer to sponsor you for a work permit. And that's where they have to get the labor market impact. There are employers that go outside Canada to go and look for skilled workers with skills in certain areas that they can't get somebody in Canada. However, they have to prove to the government of Canada that they've advertised the job in Canada, they couldn't get someone in Canada to do the job. That's why they have to go out of Canada. If you fall into that category and you have an employer that is really willing and ready to sponsor you, when you get the job offer, they do the LMIA, you apply for a work permit. But yeah, people do get jobs from outside Canada as well.
Oh, I never knew that you could, you know, you could, but I don't think that was for nurses. Or nurses don't.
Maybe not for regulated professions.
Yes, don't try for nursing. Because even we that were here, they are still doing. I don't know why Canada is so proud when it comes to the healthcare system. I really wish because I feel we don't have nurses, but then the ones we are not even allowing us.
Exactly. It's so sad. They just need to make some changes, especially. I think it's just issues around the licensing and given the fact that all the provinces are different and do things differently.
Exactly.
So that's why that is done.
So I don't know what the person wants us to say more about PNP. What else do you think we have not said about PNP? Otherwise,
I think we touched on provincial nominee program, PNP, for people who did not know our provincial nominee programs. The requirements varies from province to province. I have a lot of resources on the link in my bio on Twitter and Instagram where I explained the requirements in each of these provinces. So you have to check them out. Some provinces like Saskatchewan, Manitoba would require you to have a relative that can also support your integration in those provinces. Some may say you need to get a job offer. Some may say you must have studied in their province. So it's different requirements in each of these provinces, but it's something you can check out. I also have the student category of nomination on my website, www.olufemiloye.ca, where you can also check out the requirements for student category of nomination in each of these provinces. What are the chances of full scholarship for PhD? If you meet the requirements, check the admission requirement, the scholarship requirements in any school you're applying to. For a PhD, focus on getting a supervisor that would supervise your PhD research.
Okay.
Those are some of the things you can do to increase your chances of getting a scholarship. A lot of the professors would have grants for specific research that they want to bring you in for. If you meet that requirement of the things they are looking for, you definitely get a scholarship. And 95% of the cases, PhD positions are fully funded in Canada. It's very hard to get into a PhD that is not funded in Canada because you'll be doing an intensive research.
So most are funded, right?
Most are funded. So if you meet the requirement, your grades are good, you have research experience, you can demonstrate that you are the student they are looking for, you're good to go.
So tell us about getting accommodation and how much living expenses. I think
we touched on that. Are you coming as a student and know that if it's just one student, you need at least $10,000.
$10,000 per year.
Yes. You look for it. You can go on Kijiji. You can go on Facebook Market.
Yes, that Facebook Market. There's nothing that you are looking for that is not there.
Connect with the school for university residents. You can book Airbnb and come to Canada for maybe book Airbnb for 2 weeks or 1 month and come to Canada to look for houses yourself. I actually recommend that, especially if you're going to a place where you do not have anyone, so that you are not signing a lease. It's good to go and inspect the house and everything before you sign the lease yourself.
Absolutely. And I was going to say something about, I think what I would really say we should focus on is get here first. See, when you get here, they are Nigerians. People don't bite here. I think people have different orientation when we land here than when we are back home. So people you always, and my channel is there. Just send me a DM. I'm not in Canada. I can't, of course, we'll look for, if I don't even have a solution, I can ask Olu, I can ask people that have been here, okay, what do you think? And they'll put us through. So I think the bottom point is for us to get in here first. Let me see if there's any other question we would not touch. Let me see. I think I sent you some. There's questions there, but I'm trying to just really. We've talked about loans, we talked about study route. I think we have then for express entry, I recognize that age. So for people above 35, do you still advise them to go for express entry? Because I
Their
think
points will be considerably lower because express
lower.
entry is a point-based program. Once you get to 30, you start losing points.
You
For
start
31,
losing
you
points.
lose 5 points. For 32, you lose another 5 points, on and on and on like that. So if you calculate your score, some of the things you can do to still increase your point for express entry, even with 35 years of age and all that, look for a provincial nomination. It gives you 600 points for express entry nomination. Go and do a second language test, maybe in French if you are an English speaker. Those are things you can do. If you look for a job offer and you get a job offer, you can get between 50 and I think 200 points for also getting a job offer and all that.
Okay, so for people above 35, which route should we tell them to be looking at? Because if express entry, they are going to lose points.
They can still do express entry. They just need to work on those additional things.
Or now to put
or now to get additional points. A second language test, come to Canada to study, get a job offer in Canada, look at nomination programs that you can apply for. If you look at all those things and you are still not eligible, then consider coming to Canada to study. Once you come here to study, there will be other PR applications you would be eligible for, either as a student nominee or through the Canadian Experience Class.
Okay. Thank you so much. So what else was I going to ask you? What would you advise as for creating work and student life balance here? Like I come in as a student, then what are your advice for creating that balance? I'm studying, I'm trying to work, and I'm also trying to secure my stay here. Like I can't go back home.
I would say plan. Be kind on yourself. Plan ahead. Have like scheduled time to go to school, to go to work, to also have fun. Life should not be just all about working and making money. I know you need the money, but if you're able to relax and recharge, it helps you to be able to even make more money and not break down. So have a very clear routine that works for you. This is the time I want to study. This is the time that works for me to study and go to class and do my assignment. These are the time I want to maybe go to work and all that. This is the time I'm creating for enjoyment. With other students, enjoy life, relax, sleep, take time off, watch movies and all that. It helps you to recharge. If you're someone that finds fulfillment in being of help to people, you can also volunteer, volunteer with organizations, because those are the things that help you to connect and network with other people. There are even certain jobs that you may not be aware of that it's probably somebody that you connect with, or someone that knows someone that knows someone that will tell you about an opportunity and you tap into it as well. Just make sure you have a healthy balance, you plan around things, and it will be good to go.
Then I was going to ask, there is this program that I got window recently. I don't know if you know about it and how true it is, that for someone like me now, I can send for maybe my brother or something, or anybody in Nigeria, and under I think the person called it a name. It's more like I'm sending for them as help, right? As help, like I need help maybe with children or with family, and then from that they can graduate to maybe staying here. I don't know if you know about that.
That's probably the Home Child Care Provider Program.
Yes. I think that's
Home Support Worker Program. Yeah. So the way the program works is that it's just like the normal temporary foreign worker program. You want to recruit a person that can provide child care support to you. You would, in that case, now be the employer. You prove to the government that you can't find somebody to provide that support to you, and the person you want to bring in has the expertise and the experience to do that. So you would stand in as an employer, you offer them the job, they would show that they have the experience to do that job, and then they can apply for work permit. And then the work they do in Canada as an home child care provider, after about 1 year to 2 years, they can use it to also apply for permanent residency.
So for that 1 year or 2 years, I'm going to be the employer. They can't work.
And you have to bring the evidence of that. They have to, because That's the job that brought them in, is to be a childcare provider for you. So you have to be the employer. You have to show the evidence that they are doing the work, you're paying them, because they will need all those documentation when they want to apply for the permanent residency.
So after the 1 year or 2 years, then they can apply for PR.
Then they can apply for PR, yeah.
Okay, so the number of years depending on how much time I put into the application phase. Like if I say I need them for 1 year, the government gives them 1 year.
Exactly. That's the duration of the work permit they will give them. Right.
I think that's not a bad job, but I'm looking at the fact that somebody has to be under my care for 2 years.
Then you have to show keep in mind, you have to show the documentation. And you know, places like Canada, they are big on that. They would
I know.
You have to show that you're paying them and everything. They are doing the job.
Wow, I have to show I'm paying.
Yeah.
Okay, so then showing that I'm paying, does it mean we agree on how much I want to be paying, or
that would already be in the letter of offer, you know, approved by the Economic and Social Development Canada, the ESDC, that shows, and of course their labor, how do I call it, their wage range.
Yes, minimum wage.
That you have to pay them and all that as well.
Wow. Okay, so this is a question here. Is it possible to do a change of course?
Yes, 100% yes. It goes in 2 ways. You can change your course after getting admission, before getting your visa. If you've applied for your visa, get another admission. Before they make a decision on the visa, you can apply to change that course. So you just send your new letter of admission to IRCC using your web form. So that's that. But if they've approved your visa and you want to change your course or change your school, please get to Canada before doing that. Because if
they've approved the visa,
you've approved the visa and you change the school before leaving home, it means you have to apply for another visa again.
Wow.
But if you've gotten your visa,
no, change the school or change the course. Can I change the course or gotten my visa?
The course, if it's still the same school, they may be lenient with that. The school can send an update to IRCC, and you also submit that and show that it's still the same school, you just change your course. But if you're changing your school entirely, you're changing your program entirely, make sure you get into Canada if your visa has already been approved. If you enter Canada today, you can change your school. You just go on your portal after your study permit.
That's true. I think that's the wisest choice. Get in here first. Right. As a student in Canada with 20 hours work, would the money be able to pay for your accommodation?
100% no, because how much is the tuition and how much is the accommodation?
And the minimum wage right now, I think, is it $19 or $20 per hour?
It depends on the province. Even in some provinces, it's probably just about $15 and all that. So if you're working 20 hours per week, earning $15 in a month, is that even enough to pay for your rent alone?
No.
Even expenses, not to talk of now your tuition that is maybe $20,000 or $25,000. You know, it could help you save up some things towards the next semester. But it may not be enough. So that's why you have to keep that in mind, that at least if it's not enough, it helps you save something. So maybe you're able to save maybe like $1,000 every month. And there are 4 semesters in a month. That's just $4,000. How much is your tuition in the next semester? You know, would that be enough? So that's the calculation you have to make.
Exactly. And I think for accommodation, you can have accommodation where you can have students, like 4 or 5 people pairing together. So when you come into Canada, you have to be open to those things, open to living with people, you know, open to sharing your space. I think what you just have to do is you have to, know that it's a new environment. So you have to be open to, let me see this question. What are the chances of full scholarship for PhD? Yes, we have answered the question. Yeah, there's scholarship for PhD. This one is not a question. I just want to show. So for people that are still with us, you can go to his page to read more, especially on everything we have spoken about. I've actually been there myself. Just go to, there's a link on his bio. Go there to read especially more about these things. We can't get everything in one sitting, but this is an eye opener. You want to, it's an eye opener for you to know these things. Best route. We've talked about best routes. Is the best route for you is the best route that you're eligible for. So we've spoken about it. the best route. Then this question, I really don't get what this person means. Doing a program less than 8 months with a visitor. I don't know, what program do you want to do?
So if you're coming for a program of less than 8 months, keep in mind that that would also not be eligible for a post-graduation work permit. You know, it would not be, for a program to be eligible for a post-graduation work permit, it must be at least full-time for at least 8 months. So if your program is less than 8 months with a visitor's visa, there are programs that normally, if it's just like 6 months, you don't even need a study permit to apply for them. So I think that's probably what the person is saying. If you already have a visitor's visa, you are coming just to do a short course, maybe 4 months or 5 months, you know, confirm from the school that you don't necessarily need to do a study permit and you're good to go with that. But keep in mind that that kind of program would not make you eligible for a post-graduation work permit because it's less than 8 months.
Okay. Then so do I get a post-graduation work permit before I get a PR? Like if I finish school, do I?
In instances, except you apply for a PR directly, like I did in my own case, once you complete your program is at least 8 months. It's a full-time program done at a designated learning institution that is eligible for post-graduation work permit. You can apply for the post-graduation work permit. A lot of students that are not able to transition directly from their student visa to their PR would have to apply for post-graduation work permit so that they can continue to maintain their valid status in Canada and continue to work as well.
Let me quickly, before we answer this, for the nursing questions, if you know you have nursing questions, you have to wait behind. You have to wait behind because we have about maybe 20 minutes to go. The session is 1 hour 45 minutes because he has another program. So if you know you have nursing question, wait behind. I'll still be here with you to answer all nursing questions. But for now, I want us to trash immigration because, you know, it's like when you have gold with you and then you want your gold to slide away. So if this gold, Olufemi is the gold. If it goes away, I can't answer this kind of way is talking. I don't have all these ways to answer. I know nursing question very well, but you see all this sponsor kini, I cannot. So let him answer. If you have Canada question, ask now before Mr. Olufemi goes. Please, I don't have answer. Don't come to Nosofela. I can answer nothing. This person says, can international students sponsor outside Canada?
100% yes. Your sponsor does not have to be in Canada. For a lot of people, their sponsor would actually be outside Canada because probably they don't have parents or relatives in Canada. The straightforward answer to that is yes, your sponsor can be outside Canada.
So what they just need is the proof of fund and you can provide it, the cash flow.
All relevant documents, yeah.
Okay. For Omni College, we are going to be having a live show on the 14th. If you want info on Omni College on the 14th, come and join us again because I'm going to, the flyer will be out this evening, please.
Right.
So all nursing question Omni College deferred till after Mr. Olufemi goes. Then I think there was another question I wanted to ask you. Yes. So what course did you study in Canada here?
I did sociology and social policy.
Sociology, was that for your master's?
Yeah, for my master's degree.
Okay, so tell us the opportunities around that, your course, sociology. What are the opportunities around it?
So there are so many opportunities. I work in the public service as a program and policy analyst. That's one of the opportunities. If you're a policy person, and basically policy, when you work in social policy or public policy, you are helping the government to design policies and programs for the people. It could be in different sectors: housing, immigration, education sector, economic sector, anything. You are advising the government on how they can make life better for the people.
Okay, so for
if you have a sociology degree, you can also work in community services as a social services person, helping vulnerable members of the community to support them to transition to live an independent life. It could be in employment and income support. It could be in disability program. It could be in, employment support and all that. Also, some people use their sociology or social policy degree to work in research spaces or work for non-governmental organizations or work for international development organizations and all that. Various opportunities depending on what your capacity is and what your interest is as an individual as well.
Yeah, so for pharmacy, I intend to get a pharmacy on the program. I really don't have info on pharmacy, but what I know is that when you get here, just know that you have exam. All regulated health workers, you have exams, you have licensing bodies. But the only thing is that when you get here fresh, you might not work as pharmacy or start at pharmacy immediately. No, you have to prove to the Canada government that you are qualified. So
Right.
when you get here first, which is, and we have spoken, the person is also asking that what's the best way for them to come here. We've spoken about that. You're just joining us. You can watch this live all over again to see. We have highlighted
The
how you can
different
come into
immigration
Canada.
route.
So the ones that suit you best, when you now get here, you have to write exams. You have to get your licensure body to give you your PIN and all of that. But I'll still try to get the pharmacy to the channel to speak to us. If that is, can the sponsor do a gift deed?
They can do that. They don't have to do GIC. They can do a gift deed. They can transfer the money to you. They can do a GIC. For those who do not know, the GIC is Guaranteed Investment Certificate. It's something that international students can use to show that they've deposited the money they need for their living expenses into a Canadian bank account.
Okay.
Even when they are still outside Canada. You can do the Guaranteed Investment Certificate, a minimum of $10,000, a maximum of $20,000 to open an account in Canada and deposit the money and be able to have access to the money when you get to Canada. So depending on what your sponsor feels comfortable to do, they can transfer the money to you and show the evidence of that they've given you the money, or they can do the GIC. They give you the money, you do the GIC directly yourself as well.
Oh, okay. That's about gift deed. Agency guarantee approval of person's visa. I don't know about this agency. People are asking about agency in Canada.
If you're using any agency, make sure it's an authorized representative. And so, authorized representative are people that have been licensed by the government of Canada. They are either immigration consultants, immigration lawyers that are in good standing, paralegals, or notary publics in Quebec. So
but are there ways you can check that they are actually
yes,
licensed?
Yes, you can ask them for their consultant number and just do a Google search of immigration consultants in Canada. They have their regulatory websites where you can put that number and then you'll be able to check if they are licensed or not. If they are a lawyer, ask for the Law Society of Canada that they belong to. So it's different from one province to the other. And look for the website of that Law Society in Canada. Get their license number, put it there. You'll be able to see if they are truly licensed or not.
And for people that want to get immigration consultants, I have two in my church that are licensed that I know. I'm bringing one of them around 20 something. I don't know. You see, I have a lot of program on this channel in April. So just stick to the channel. Somebody is coming, an immigration consultant is coming in April, I think 3rd week. So we are going to be trashing all this. So you want to ask a question, just come onto the channel.
Right.
Do we still have further questions here? I don't think we have further questions here. If you have immigration question, please drop them because if I ask my own question, it might not be what you have in mind. Do we still have further questions here? I don't think so for now. What else do I want to ask? Let me see if I have something I sent you that we've not touched, because I know I sent you some. Yes, so for people coming in as undergraduates, is it the same process? I just check for universities and then I apply if I'm coming as undergraduate.
And like I mentioned, their own admission requirements is lower. They just need their O-level.
Yeah.
Once they get their admission, they apply for their own visa as well. For
so do you think no, finish up.
Yeah, go ahead. For undergraduate program, it's a 4-year program, so you still have to show that you have the money in the first year and you have sources to pay the subsequent years as well.
Okay, then do you think their own tuition is lower than if I'm coming for a master's as undergraduate?
No, I don't think so, really. I think master's degree are even considerably lower than undergraduate program, especially if you're doing a research-based master's. Averagely for undergraduate program, your tuition would be between 15,000 to maybe 30,000. University of Alberta, for instance, in your city in Edmonton, Their undergraduate tuition is about 28,000 or thereabout. So, and that's every year, every year for the next 4 years. If you're looking at affordable provinces or schools, affordable schools in Canada, where you can get something considerably cheaper, then look
affordable universities.
Atlantic Canada. Look at universities in Atlantic Canada in the provinces of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Newfoundland, I heard that.
New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island. Also look at the prairies, Saskatchewan and Manitoba. So
they have
considerable affordable universities. Some other parts of Canada. So do a Google search of universities available in any of these provinces.
In any of these provinces?
As a matter of fact, if you go on my website, I think I've listed all the universities in these provinces somewhere on my website.
On your website. Then I was going to ask you, if do you kind of have a list of top 10 universities in Canada? Like, say, okay, these are my top 10 universities in Canada.
They are the U15 universities. Those will be
that's like www.u15.ca.
U15.ca. You will see a list of the top 15 universities in Canada. You see the funds they have, their research grants, the number of students they have, the number of international students they have, the research on everything they have. And the courses they have as well.
Like their strong suit courses.
Yeah.
Okay. We've talked about PNP, Express Entry. Let me see. Somebody asked the question now.
No, I don't. So if you're looking at somebody to work with you personally, you have to hire an authorized representative.
Okay.
They are the ones that are licensed to support you in that process. If you want to do it yourself, I have a lot of resources. I encourage a do-it-yourself approach because you learn in the process as well. But some people are busy, they don't have the time and all that.
Yeah.
Feel free to hire an immigration consultant. They are always glad to be
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I spoke about immigration consultants. I'm bringing one to the channel around 20-something. When I get a date, I'll let us know. She's coming to the channel. And then we can trash everything about immigration consultant. Master's course can get one's visa rejected.
There's nothing like that. It's a myth. You have to be able to show, even if you're getting a master's that is related to your BSc, you still have to be able to tick the box that you meet the requirement of a visa. I think what this person is probably trying to say is around the purpose of study. So if you're doing a master's degree that is different from your bachelor's degree, it's now left to you to convince the visa officer on why you are making that change. How does it support your overall goal, your lifetime goal, your career plans in the future? Why are you making that change? As long as you're able to provide sufficient and convincing explanation around that, you're good to go. So when you are applying for application, one of the strong things you have to be able to demonstrate to the visa officer is your purpose of doing that program. Are you using it to show academic progression or professional progression? How is this thing related to what you studied in the past, what you're currently doing? Look at it from the point of view of where you're coming from, where you are, and where you intend to go in the future. As long as you're able to tie those three things together, that's what the visa officer will be looking out for. If you do a poor job of that, you're setting yourself up for a refusal, even if you're doing the same program as related to what you've done at the bachelor's degree.
Okay, so we are going to be rounding up. I want to, Olufemi, please tell us about your Telegram group. So for those on this live, because I saw your post about scam and all that. Yes, that's why for my own group too, I don't want to put the link out there. Right. I have to verify you myself before you can join into the group. So if you're on this live and you want to join Olufemi's Telegram, just send me a message. I have the link, but I cannot put it out. You have to show interest, and we have to be sure that you really want to come into Canada. I can check your page and all that before I send you the link. So if you have other resources, tell us how to get the other resources. We want to read more. We want to follow you. Just tell us how we can.
So we have a lot of resources out there. In our Telegram group, more than 20,000 people are there right now. It's a platform for people who are doing their applications by themselves, free of charge, to come together to exchange ideas, to exchange information with each other. It's a community we've built in the last 8 months and that is growing every day. we made the decision just a couple of days to make it a private group now because people are coming.
Yeah.
We can't verify their identity and all that. So we have to be careful, and because a lot of personal information go on in the group, we want to be able to safeguard the interest and the privacy of the people in the group. But aside that, my social media pages are always loaded with lots of information. On Twitter, I am at Olufemiloye. On Instagram, the same handle at Olufemiloye as well. If you go on any of my social media pages, you'd always see information around and resources around coming to Canada, studying in Canada, coming as a PR and everything. On my bio, you also see a link to all the other resources I have that we've created over the years that you can go through. They are self-explanatory, they are direct, you can read them for understanding and all that. In addition to that, you can go on my website anytime, www.olufemiloye.ca. We have a lot of resources and information for you to help you with your application as well. If you're looking at hiring a registered consultant or a lawyer in Canada, we also have resources pointing you in the direction of some of the consultants you can always talk to, people that we can attest to the good work they do. A lot of them are based in Canada. They have years of experience supporting people. Of course, you have to pay them because that's the work they do.
Of
and
course.
they are licensed by the government to do that. They did not get their own license free of charge as well. So, but they're always there. If you want to do your application yourself, there are lots of resources out there to also support you in that process as well.
Yes, I want us to answer this question, but I want us to remove that nothing. If I have a diploma, I have say ONG, HND. If I want to apply to a school here, I might apply as an undergraduate.
Right. You can apply as an undergraduate and do what we call transfer of credit, which would shorten the duration of doing the undergraduate program from 4 years to about 2 years. Because as long as the program you are doing is related to what you've done at the diploma level, you can transfer some of the related credits so you can do or finish up the undergraduate degree quickly. That's number one. If you have a diploma too, you can also, in some schools, you may be able to use the diploma to apply for a graduate certificate. Just the one I mentioned earlier, that people who have a low degree, a low grade in their bachelor's degree can apply for the graduate certificate. Depending on the school or the program you're applying to, you may also be able to use your diploma to apply for a graduate certificate. Or you can also use that to apply for another diploma, maybe an advanced diploma this time around. So those would be like the three options to look into. Look at the admission requirement, make sure it's something that is doable in the school you're applying to.
And for this OND, HND, so do they have particular university or any university can actually, some university
where you can find that graduate certificate program or the advanced diploma is anyone you can apply to as well.
Okay. Thank you so much. I hope we don't have any more Canadian questions because our guest will be leaving soon. I want to stick to that 1 hour 45 minutes. I'll still be here to answer nursing questions. So I'm going to start taking nursing questions. But our guest, do we have, and nobody has any further question? I think I took the last question because I really tried to take all the questions. If you see our further questions, let me know if you can take one last one. These are nursing questions. If you have migration question, please drop it. We can take one last one. Okay, we have spoken about agency. We've spoken about agency. Agency is not. So before you leave, let me just quickly tell you this. For agency, we have about around 20 something. I don't know yet. I'll put out a flyer. But the one I'm setting up right now, I have two coming up on the 14th and on the 16th. 14th, if you are interested in Omni College for nurses, internationally educated nurses. I'm going to send in flyers. Please send to your groups. We are going to talk about Omni College. On the 16th, I'm bringing a lawyer to talk to us about getting started as a lawyer in Canada. Like you're a lawyer back home, you don't know how to settle, or you want to call, you are here, anything about law. I am bringing a barrister that is doing so well here. I mean, it's doing so good. I'm bringing him on the 16th to the channel to speak to us as well. And for Olufemiloye, check his Instagram and his Twitter. He has resources. If you're on this live and you want to join the Telegram group, send me a message. I'll send you the link to the Telegram. We're not putting it out. If you're interested, send me a message. I don't know. If you're interested in Telegram link, don't go and send him a DMO. I don't want it to disturb my guests. I have it. I will send it to you. Just come to me because I want him to attend to things that will give him plenty money. But if you want a lawyer in Canada, your agency and all that, speak to him on that. I know that one is business oriented. Anything is not business. If you have further question, come to me first and I'll see if I can, get answers for you. So thank you very much, Olu of Canada. I'm so grateful for this session. Do you have a parting word for us? I think the parting word, I wanted to try to kind of encourage people on the fact that, I don't know, when they come here, it's not like you start making money.
Right.
You have to be patient. So give us a parting word. How were you able to sustain yourself when you came in as a student to, just give us a parting
My parting words would be, when you're coming to Canada, there are 3 P's I advise people to have. Number 1 is to plan. Plan ahead. Know that you're probably going to start afresh, or probably start from a fresh start and all that. But know that it's always worth it in the end. Prepare for that. Plan ahead. Prepare ahead. Gather as much as possible information. Do your own personal research. The information you find, make sure you tailor it to your own particular situation. That's number 1. Number 2 is follow the due process. Don't let anybody lie to you and say fake these documents and all that. IRCC would always find out. And at the end of the day, the person that will bear the brunt would be you, the applicant. So follow the due process. Information is always out there. If you go to canada.ca, all the official information you need is available on the Government of Canada website as well. The 3rd P I would advise you to have is to be patient. Patience in the application process, and when you get to Canada, in navigating life in Canada and trying to settle down and integrate as well. So plan, follow the due process, be patient, everything good will come.
What experience matter when applying for student visa? I don't know. Does that matter?
I don't get what the person is saying, but it's part of the things you can also show to show your professional experience, your professional progression, and what you intend to do with your program when you leave Canada as well. Some people will provide their resume as part of their visa application process. It's possible if you're applying for a master's degree admission, it's also part of the document you would submit as well. So that's important.
Does he have any link to work visa in Canada? Do you have anybody that does that? Maybe like
you have to look for a job first. So that's why nobody can do that for you. You have to look for a job first and look for an employer. I have a post on that actually on my website that the person can go through and read and be able to get more information on the processes to follow for the work visa application in Canada.
So let's just leave nothing out of this question. For regulated workers, I've not seen agencies. Or do you know any?
I don't have any as well.
I know UK has a lot.
Is the tech industry. It's not but for most regulated profession, especially if it's any profession that you need a license to work in Canada. If anybody is saying I can help you get a job as a nurse in Canada, when you are still outside, when you're not licensed, just carry your leg and run before you give your money somebody that is just out to defraud you.
Sorry, I just want to quickly.
Nothing like that. No.
Yes, I have been telling people because I know for UK they have, but UK is not Canada. UK is not Canada. I don't think we have anything like that for
nurses.
For nurses, yes. I don't think we have them for nurses. So Angie's word will answer your question. So thank you very much, Mr. I know you have another program. I don't want to keep you waiting. I'm super grateful for this. So maybe in the future we'll invite you again, but we are grateful for this opportunity. And so please follow Olufemiloye on Instagram, go to his blog, because these things, I tell people, when you do this, you're not doing it for us or for him or for anybody. You are doing it for yourself because you need information. You go and get lost. Some people, do you know somebody actually did NAS? NAS is over $1,000. That's a nursing assessment. And the person doesn't have a way to even come to Canada. So you are wasting that $1,000 because who is going to invite you now when you have started NAS and you don't have a way to come? So you have to know the step by step. Canadian pathway is indeed time consuming. Yes, you have to be patient.
Right.
You have to be patient for the Canadian pathway. You have to be patient. But yes, sorry, Olu, there's something I want you to quickly tell us. Picking Canada over UK, US, what are the advantages that we have here that you feel if you're going to pick Canada over UK, US, what are those advantages you are looking out for?
Especially if you're coming as an international student, I think the straightforward one would be that there's a clearer pathway to getting PR and becoming a citizen in Canada. That's one thing Canada has as an edge as an international student over the UK and the US. So also, if you're somebody that just likes like the quiet, peaceful life, Canada is relatively not as populated as other places, you know. It's very.
I think Canada is very popular, so not as populated as other places.
No, not like as populated as UK and US. You know, our population is just 37 million in Canada. You know, so and there are some people that just prefer that quiet, peaceful life. But I think the big one is that there's a very clear pathway. If you're able to come to Canada as an international student, you have some level of assurance that if you follow things, the due process apply, you would be able to get your PR and your citizenship as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Olufemilore. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for this session. Thank you so much. So we're going to let our guests go now. I saw a lot of beautiful comments for you because of time. I can't read them, but I see them. Everybody's appreciating you. And I also, appreciate you for taking time to doing this with me. Thank you so much. So I hope we have all the information. If you miss any part, you can still rewatch this. Personally, I'm going to sit down to rewatch this live because I need to jot down my information. Yes. If you miss it, please sit down and rewatch. And if you have questions, come to me. I'll also send the link to the Telegram group if you need it. Send me a message on Instagram. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. I wish everyone all the best in the application process. And we look forward to welcoming as much as possible of you.
Yes, we want to welcome people, please. Especially nurses. I don't know why they all run to UK. Nurses and doctors, stop running to UK. Come to Canada. We are welcoming. So thank you so much, Mr. Olufemilore. So I'm going to let you go now so I can answer the nursing questions. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to be taking nursing questions right now. If you have nursing questions, drop them in the chat. I may have missed some. If you have questions relating to nursing, I want to study here, I want to start working here as an RN, I'm in Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. Start asking your questions now. Nursing questions. I want to start taking nursing questions now. I'll just do another 15 minutes and then we can round up finally. So I'll check my chat box to see if I have nursing questions. If you have nursing questions, drop them in the chat. I want to start asking nursing questions. So, so for nurses in Nigeria, I will tell you this. Just like we have been talking, and I've always said, Canada is not UK. As at this moment, April 9, 1:54 p.m., there is no agency that will employ nurses from Nigeria and then tell you to pay small from your salary. If you get that kind of person, you have to run. What you want to do as a nurse is to find out the pathway that you want to come to Canada with. You want to do a PNP? Do you want to do, is your spouse here? Do you want to do an express entry? Do you want to come and study here? Find a pathway. When you get a pathway and it is sure, then start your NAS assessment. You would always need a NAS assessment, but please find a pathway first. And for all it's what it, Canada requires patience. I know UK is easier, I know, but I'm lonely. I need nurses to come and join me here. I know UK is easier, I understand that, but sometimes a lot of us can't control. Like my husband is here, like I can't leave my husband because UK is easier, right? You get. So if we are looking at some factors might still want some people to come in, like if you have a partner here, if you feel that Canada is best for you, maybe you are afraid and Canada is best for you, then you have to come to Canada and and it's getting easier. I can tell you, it is getting easier. It is getting easier. it is getting easier, please, because we now have provinces that will allow you to challenge NCLEX. Before now, we don't have provinces that will allow you to challenge NCLEX. Provinces like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia will allow you to challenge NCLEX straight once you get into Canada, or even from outside Canada. You can start your application from outside Canada. You don't have to be in Canada to start your NAS. No. The only thing I'm saying is that find a particular route to come to Canada first before you can, start your NAS assessment, because NAS is expensive. You don't want to waste your money. So just make sure you choose some of those provinces. Can you type these provinces? Can we type the province with affordable university? We have New Brunswick, Newfoundland. They have affordable universities. Then if you listen again to this live chat, we have mentioned them. You can just go back a bit. You'll be able to mention. Then you can go to www.u15.ca universities to get the universities that have really cheap fundings and all of that. You need to type in the comment section, but I'm saying it now, Mr. Kingsley. You can type it as I'm saying it. I said New Brunswick, University of New Brunswick. You can type it on your own as I'm saying it. You can have University of Newfoundland too. They have cheap schools. I have Nigerian RN. I want to come to Canada, study visa. What's the best university for me? Okay, if you have Nigerian RN, I don't think you want to really go and start all over again. What I would advise you to do if you have RN already is to go for what we call the after degree nursing program. After degree, I have a video on my channel that speaks expressly about after degree nursing program. You can do the after degree. It is 2 years and you get your RN in Canada. You get your licensure, but you will do prerequisite courses first. If you need more information, go to my YouTube channel. Check under my videos. Just go under playlist. From playlist, you will see nursing and immigration info as a whole bunch. Go under after degree nursing program. Yes, you will find my after degree nursing program really helpful if you have RN from Nigeria. Please, it's really very helpful for you if you have RN from Nigeria. Just go for the after degree. And I listed in the chat box, in the description box, I list the link of the university offering it, so you can check that. General. So if you are doing express entry, you need general IELTS. If you are doing IELTS for immigration and all this, you need general. If you are doing for nursing, you need academic. Kafila, did I answer your question? You need academic for that. And for NAS, please, you might not need to write academic IELTS when you tell them that your first language is English. Don't go and tell them your first language is Yoruba. Your first language is English. They will waive English test for you. Go to my YouTube channel. I have a video on NAS assessment. My YouTube channel, if you are coming to Canada, I don't know why my YouTube channel is the best place for you to be. Everything is there. Everything is there on my YouTube channel. I have NAS assessment, how you're going to go about it. I have video on everything, becoming LPN, becoming RN. I have it on my YouTube channel. Do you need your home country? Let me see this question. The question is saying, do you need your home country or place of study license to qualify for your Canadian nursing license? Of course. Canada, you need to show them that you have a license from your home country as a nurse first before you can start doing because NAS would ask you for your PIN, your number. We have a nursing license number, right? In the NAS form, there is a section where you're going to fill your PIN and your nursing license number. So, of course, you need your license from Nigeria, from Cameroon, from Togo, before you can start applying as a nurse in Canada. You really need it. Of course you do, yes. It's about NAS. I'll talk with George. You said it's about NAS. What's your question about NAS? So we don't need IELTS coming through NAS. We should be preparing for NCLEX straight. No, don't prepare for NCLEX straight. See, there are ways to this thing. What I'm saying is for NAS assessments, when you fill in the curriculum that in the column, that your first language is English, that you were taught in English, you probably get a waiver for IELTS academic. But does not mean you're going to go to NCLEX straight to. You still have to wait for them to do your NAS assessment, get advisory reports. Just watch my video, please. watch those videos to get more information so that I can answer other people's questions too. And if you want to do NCLEX straight, then make sure you pick provinces that will allow you to challenge NCLEX straight. I have the video also on my channel for provinces that will allow you to challenge NCLEX straight. Provinces like New Brunswick, provinces like Nova Scotia will allow you to challenge NCLEX straight. So you have to pick those provinces when you are filling your NAS form, because this is the province that you pick that NAS will now send your advisory report to. If you don't pick those provinces, there is no way that you will now be able to challenge NCLEX under them. I picked Alberta. That's why I'm in Alberta. Yes. So the province you are going to pick as a nurse from Nigeria or from anywhere coming to Canada, you have to sit down to check the provinces that will benefit you and your family. You cannot just pick any province because it's in Canada. No, you have to be sure that it's going to benefit you, because things in Canada differs province from provinces. What I would do in Alberta differ from what they do in New Brunswick. So you can't say because of Sophia stays in Alberta, I want to come to Alberta. No, choose a province that works for you. But if you want to challenge NCLEX straight, don't come to Alberta, at least not now. Choose New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. If you have NCLEX already, go to Ontario. If you have NCLEX already, go to Ontario. Don't come to Alberta, or because Alberta will not take it from you. Other provinces will not take it from you, but Ontario will take your NCLEX from you from US. Please, can you explain about the routes we can follow, and if possible, which routes? I don't understand what you mean by routes, and I don't understand what you mean by steps. If I get your question right, I'll be able to guide you right. So I need to know what route follow as in what, and what steps as in what. After getting admission, do you advise starting NAS verification? Is it possible as an international student, probably with another course to study and still work out? After getting admission, do you advise starting NAS as verification? I don't understand this question. If you are going to get admission if you are going to get admission for after degree nursing program, you don't need NAS. For after degree nursing program, you do not need NAS. You just need to do your prerequisite courses. You need to get the admission, secure it. For after degree nursing program, you don't need NAS. That's why you have to find out which one works for you. And if you are doing after degree nursing program, you are not going to be qualified to work as LPN. You're going to be qualified to work as RN after your 2 years after degree nursing program. If you want to work as LPN first, that means you are in a province like Alberta that does not allow you to challenge NCLEX straight. For me now, I work as LPN because in Alberta, you are not allowed to challenge NCLEX straight. So I'm still a nurse, but I'm not RN, I'm LPN. Now, for you to work as LPN, when you start filling your NAS form, you have to choose 2 nursing jurisdictions, which is RN and LPN. You should get assessed for 2 nursing jurisdictions, RN and LPN. Then you now start working as LPN after writing their exams and doing all the courses you are supposed to do, which are basically online. I have a video on my channel. Please watch how to becoming a Canadian RN or LPN part 1 and 2. When you watch it, you will get clarification, and you can ask me questions and I will answer in the chat box. What if you have a BSc in another course from Nigeria? Can you switch to nursing? If you have a BSc in another course from Nigeria and you want to do nursing, after degree nursing program is your best. God's gift into BC, I hope you can hear me. If you have a BSc in fish farming, in Yoruba, in Agric, and you want to become a nurse in Canada, the after degree nursing program is your best bet. Just go for the after degree nursing program. They allow people with BSc in even Yoruba language to become nurses with the after degree nursing program. I have the video on my channel. Everything you need is right there. But what you need is after degree nursing program. Follow Uno Road. Yes, so not zero. Follow Uno Road, though. I don't understand what this person mean by this. Let me see. After getting admission, I think I've explained that one. Let me see if I have other questions here. I'm trying to read through our questions, please. With after degree nursing program, you don't need NAS assessment. With after degree nursing program, you only need NAS assessment because I'm RN or BSc from Nigeria, and I want to I want to work as RN in Canada without going to school. I want to challenge exam straight, or I want to do bridging. Those that want to do bridging courses. Bridging course is 14 months. If you want to do a bridging course here, is 14 months. That's over a year. Some can even be 2 years. But the bridging courses are not easy to come by. We have just one university currently now that is giving admission for bridging courses. So if you want, I would say choose after degree nursing program over bridging, because bridging takes too much time, or just challenge NCLEX. Go to provinces that will allow you to challenge NCLEX. Please, for NAS, do we need IELTS as academic or general? For NAS, if perhaps NAS tells you to write IELTS, you need academic. That is if, in quotes, because if you tell NAS that your language, your first language is English language, and that you're taught and trained in English, you might not need to write IELTS. They probably will waive IELTS for you. But perhaps you are asked to write it in quotes, you will need IELTS academic. I did my IELTS when I got here, because I didn't do any IELTS in Nigeria. So you need IELTS as academic for NAS. Academic for NAS, please. And there is a required band. I think you should have at least 7.5 or 7 across board. I think it's a 7 across board. So I've answered that question. Please specify after degree. It's only possible for those who have bachelor's degree or not. Yes, so for after degree nursing course, it's possible 95% for people that have a bachelor's degree. If you have RN only, there are still schools that will take you, but not all. If you have RN only and you want to do after degree nursing program, there are still schools that will take you, but not all. Best bet, have a BSc so that you are open to all the schools. But if you have RN only, there are schools that will take you. I'm not too sure for now, but I think I have a school on my channel. If you check my channel description box, you should see a school there that will take you with RN, because I have somebody that just came with RN and they took her for after degree program. So you can check. There are still schools that will take you, but best bet is to have BNSC. So what I would say is, if I have RN only, don't put all your egg in one basket. Do NAS, put out for province that will allow you to challenge NCLEX, also put in for the after degree nursing program. After all, they won't take more school fees from you until you are now in the program. So you can spread your eggs into those two places, so that you have a very great chance. So we don't need IELTS coming through NAS. Oh, I've answered this question. If at Kingsley Okoye, if you need more information on after degree program, it is on my channel, please. If you start talking, I have spent over 2 hours here already. Go to my channel, watch the video. If you have questions, ask me in the comment section on YouTube. I will answer you. Thank you so much. Schools that is affordable for BSc nursing. Yes, just like Olufemilore has mentioned, schools in regions like Newfoundland, New Brunswick has affordable schools for BSc. So you can try New Brunswick. Their school fees is quite affordable. New Brunswick. If you want to do BSc nursing, New Brunswick has affordable school for BSc nursing. The admission is not after degree program. I don't understand what you mean by the admission is not after degree nursing program. I don't understand what you mean. Referencing the SCACH International Healthcare Worker Recruitment, at what point should NAS be started or done? Okay, the SCACH International Health Worker Recruitment. Well, for those ones, I would say don't start your NAS. Follow, because I am not in that program. I heard about it. I know about it. I should have asked Olufemilore. I wish you asked this question when he was there. I would have chipped it in. I know about it, but I don't know so much. Don't start NAS until you are told to do so. They might not need NAS, because it is the government that is calling you to come now. So they will tell you what they need. So wait for their directions. If you have questions, I'm sure they have emails, you have phone numbers you can call. Don't start NAS. If you're under this Kafkancha International Healthcare Worker Recruitment, don't start NAS until they tell you to do so, please. Is there a nursing program in University of Montreal that offer English courses? I'm not sure. You said nursing program. You said English courses. So which one are you asking? Mr. Daniel, is there a nursing program in University of Montreal that offers English courses? I'm from Montreal. I think they speak French. No, that's Quebec. I don't know if Montreal still speaks French, but I know Quebec speaks French. So I'm not so sure. I can find out and get back to you. But this nursing program in Montreal, I'm not sure about it. Do we need IELTS for the after degree? No, you don't need IELTS for after degree program, please. For after degree program, everything you need is on my channel. You people don't want to go and watch. Why? It's on my channel. I have the video there. Just sit down and watch, jot down. Then if you have questions, come to me again. For after degree nursing program, you don't need IELTS. You need to write an English exam. I think they call it NCAS. What you need to write is NCAS for after degree nursing program. You are not writing IELTS. You are not writing. The video is on my channel. You are not writing IELTS for after degree program, please. And you don't need NAS as well. You just need to put in for the admission and start. Please, no, tell them, oh, hey, don't give me a headache. What if you have BSc nursing and you want to come to Canada? What's your advice? If you have BSc nursing and you want to come to Canada, find out a route to follow first. Do I want to come to Canada with my partner sponsored me to come to Canada? Do you have a partner here? Do you want to come in through study route? Find out a route first. Do you want to come into PNP? Rewatch this video. Olufemi has mentioned ways by which you can come into Canada. That's why I invited him. You watch the video, find out how you can come. When you do and have a concrete way to come, start NAS. When you do and have a concrete way to come, start your NAS assessment. When you start your NAS assessment, reach out to me. I have a WhatsApp group for nurses. Please, my WhatsApp group is for those that have started NAS assessment. I'll put you on the group and then we can now talk further. You know, you can have questions. We have over 100 nurses in the group already. I think we're about 120 right now. So, but we only put people that have started NAS. I don't want people to get confused. So only people that have started NAS is people I admit into my WhatsApp group, Canadian WhatsApp group for nurses. When you start your NAS, reach out to me. I'll add you to the group. So that's my advice. Find out a way to come to Canada first. There are no agency that will give you a job in Canada as a nurse. So don't go and fall prey. There is no agency. Oh, there are agencies that can help you with your visa application, but no agency for, don't worry, you only work for 300 hours. I'll take 100 hours. No, we don't have, oh, please. We don't have. And for people that are interested in Omni College is another way that you can come into Canada as a nurse with BSc, with RN. I'm inviting a guest on the 14th of this month to talk to us about Omni College. So if you are interested in coming to Canada through Omni College, it's a good one. It is legit. There is no fraud in it, but you will still go through NAS when you get here. The only reason why I think I like Omni is because they help you with your visa application, your everything, and it's faster because they have agents that will put you through. Do you get? It's like a step-by-step guide. It's like when you're giving a baby milk. You know, for my son now, I don't trust his judgment to do a lot of things. I put him through myself. So that's how Omni College is. They'll help you. So if you want information on Omni College, 14th of April, come and join me on this live. I'm inviting a guest from Omni College to speak to us about the school. Which other question do we have? I can hide this one. Then for nurses in the UK and US who wanted to come to Canada, it's the same process. But the only thing with UK, US is that you can delay your immigration process because you still have work, you have a job and all that. It's not like you're under pressure to leave Nigeria, but you still have to start with NAS. Anywhere you're coming from, UK, US, Australia, you have to do NAS. So far you are trained out of Canada, you must do NAS. The only thing I advise is that if you're coming from Nigeria, find a way to come in first. Find out a concrete route to come in, then be doing NAS alongside, because NAS can take up to 10 months, 8 months, 10 months, 1 year, over 1 year. We are trying to work with them so that it's faster, but know that NAS takes some time. Before you do NAS, before you are started with NAS, you can work as PSW, HCAs. You don't need to go to school for all that again. You can just put into the directory of Alberta or directory of your province, and then you can start working as HCA, PSW before you become LPN or RN. So that's what I would advise. Which my RN and RM, can I come to Canada with my family? Yes. With your RN and RM, you can come to Canada with your family, depending on the program you are coming in through, the migration program. Olufemi has mentioned all this. You can watch the video again, because I also intend to take my notes, watch the video again. You can watch it again to find out how it says you can migrate to family. He has mentioned a lot of it. So once you have that program at your hand, at your fingertips, then you can, of course, come into Canada with your family, start your NAS program so that you can do a bridging or challenge and clear straight, and that settles it. Do we need IELTS? No, we don't need. With RN, do we have to do 4 years program? With RN, I don't know, who is this? Cancel. With RN, do we have to do so? With RN, if you are doing a bridging program with RN, you need 14 months. Bridging program here is 14 months, depend on the province. It can be up to 16 months, 18 months, but what you need at the minimum is 14 months. With if you are doing a bridging. But if you are doing after degree nursing program with your RN, you need 2 years. 2 years then plus prerequisites, maybe about 3 years, not up to 4 years still with your RN if you want to do any program. Admission of another course apart from nursing program. Oh yeah, even me, I don't want this admission of another course. Admission of another course. Which course? You know, I'm a nurse, so I think I'm vast in nursing than any other course. So, but if you are going to do another course, then of course, just like Olufemi said, go to the university website, check under the U15 universities, check the university that have your courses, and get to it. He mentioned a link. I'll check if I can still find the link. New comment. I asked the question earlier about getting admission into a course apart from nursing course. Do you advise starting NNAS into a course apart from nursing course? I don't understand this person. Oh, yeah, Tower. If you are going to go into another course that is not nursing, you don't need NNAS. NNAS is National Nursing Assessment, so it means it's for nursing. So if you are going into microbiology, pharmacology, physiotherapy, of course they have their own body. That means you have to find out their body, the name they call them, and follow suit. If NNAS is for nurses, please. NNAS is for nurses. Oh, it's not for farmer. It's not for Yoruba teacher. It's not for technologists. It's not for any other course. NNAS is strictly nursing assessment. So if you are going into any other course apart from nursing, you don't need NNAS. Don't go and waste your $1,000. Oh, you don't need NNAS. Oh, if you challenge NCLEX and pass, will NCLEX allow us to get us? Do you have other training or courses to get specialty roles? Will NCLEX allow? Okay, yeah. If you challenge NCLEX and pass, your best province will be Ontario. That's the first thing you should know, because Abata will not still take you with your NCLEX. Abata will take you, but they might need you to do an app exam. But Ontario will not need you to do an app exam. Ontario will welcome you with open arms until it starts working. Now about specialty. For specialty, I don't think passing NCLEX will give you avenue to specialties. However, there are places there, like if I want to work in the theater, for example, I want to work in the dermatology clinic, all I need to do is to get their employment. Most of them have courses, trainings they will allow you to go through, but at least they'll keep you in the employment and you go through those courses or the training. So the best thing would be just passing your NCLEX and becoming Canadian RN. Getting the specialty is not a problem, because if they don't have the trainings for you, you can always sponsor yourself for the trainings. If they don't, but I wanted to go into dermatology one time, and the woman was willing to sponsor my training, but I didn't just take the job because the pay was not as fantastic as I wanted to be, even with the training she was going to offer me. So some of them have trainings for you while on the job, and if they don't have, you can always sponsor yourself. But that does not mean, but NCLEX does not give you straight guarantee to becoming a specialty, to getting specialty jobs here. No, passing NCLEX will not give you straight guarantee, but a lot of them would be willing to employ you. We are very short of nurses, so nobody is doing a call because you're not a theater nurse, you can't work in theater. We are so short of nurses in Canada, so I'm sure they are willing to take you and even give you the trainings that you need. Zainab, I hope I answered your question. How long does NNAS take? Now, NNAS takes anything from 3 months to 1 year. If you go to NNAS website, they'll tell you 12 weeks. Don't buy into that lie, because except maybe tomorrow they increase their speed. But at the moment, NNAS takes from 3 months to like 1 year. NNAS takes time. So while you are at it, you can work as PSW, you can work as HCA, you can even work with dermatology clinics, you can work as all this. When you come into a new place, you have to be willing to lower down your standard. Yes, because you have to eat, you have to work, and you can't start working as a nurse immediately you get into Canada, because nurse will take at least 10 months from you. And you can start your NAS outside Canada. You must not get to Canada to start your NAS. You can start your NAS outside Canada to buy yourself some time, please. But what I need nurses to do first is that have a way to come here. Not that you don't have a way to come here now, you go and start NAS. It does not make sense. Because I don't have agency. Maybe later in life, I will have agency for nurses in Canada. I intend to. But at the moment, I don't have, and nobody has it. So what your best bet is that you have a plan to come here first, then start your NAS. So NAS takes 3 months to 1 year to 12 months to more than 12 months. I have people who were on NAS for 3 years, but don't worry, we won't have that again because we are getting better. We won't have that. People were on this for 3 years, 4 years because there was no province allowing us to challenge NCLEX. But right now, we have province that allow you to challenge NCLEX. So in fact, within 6 months, you can become Canadian RN than before. The only reason why I have not challenged my exam is because I have a family. I have a home already in Alberta. So how do I get another home in New Brunswick or Nova Scotia? It's really tedious for me as a family woman. So I'm really trying to, wrap my head around it. That's why I'm still LPN. Rather than that, I can always go to New Brunswick. They give me permission to challenge NCLEX straight and become Canadian RN. I just have to pass the exam. But I have a family here now, so it's not as easy for me to move my family to a new province. That's the only reason why I'm still here. Oh, I think I've answered this question. NCLEX is equivalent to Nursing Council final exam. Okay, maybe she's trying to answer somebody. Vicky or Sagi, are you trying to answer somebody? Do we have any other question? With my I've answered this question. Do we have any other question, please? Because I think I'm done with all this question here. No, Rain is apart from the admission. Yes, ma. It's good. And after degree nursing program. If you need information after degree nursing program, please go to my YouTube channel. When you watch it, ask me question in the comment section. I'm always willing to answer your question. But the only thing is that I want you to watch it too. Do you understand? I don't want you to because I've been talking for over 2 hours now. At least I was talking with Olivia Mlayer too. So you understand that I also want to, I want you to do something first. And okay, she said yes to that. Then for Omni College, don't forget we have another life. If you have Nigerian nurses, especially all those CNOs that are really old and they can't do express entry, because when you're above 30, your point starts dropping for express entry. Omni College might be a very good one for them. Omni College, 14th of this month, come and get every information. The flyer will be out this evening. So for Omni College, 14th of this month, we are going live again. If you want information about Omni College, we are going to be, because people have asked me a lot and I see that people really want information on Omni College. So I've gotten somebody for us to answer all our Omni College question. Do we have any other question? But all in all, I will just say that Canada is worth it. It's stressful. I'm not going to lie. When I got here, I was frustrated, but it is worth it at the end of the day, because just like Olufemileo said, I'm almost 3 years in Canada now. I'm over 2 years, not almost 3 years, because I still have a long way to do 3 years. I have several months. So I'm just a little above 2 years in Canada right now. So in 3 years' time, I'll get my permanent residence. My citizen. I have PR already. So it's faster for you to get your citizenship in Canada. My son at birth is already a citizen. You don't have to wait for 5 years, 10 years before your children can become citizen in Canada. And they also have programs for internationally educated nurses that I really like. So I don't feel Canada is a bad place to live, but you have to be patient. Canada requires patience. You have to be patient, and you have to be willing to start low before you can start any high. That is it. And you can also look into becoming a nurse practitioner. You can look into becoming a nurse practitioner as well. You didn't read the question finish. What's your question? Oyewumi Tower, what's your question, Ma? Can you write the question out for me again so that I can now answer, because I don't understand. So if you read the question out to me again, I'll be able to answer. So Canada is worth it, but it requires patience, please. So that's what I would just say. If you don't have questions again, I'll just close this chat. Do we still have questions? Other than that, I'll close the chat. I have videos on my channel. Watch it, ask me question, and all of that. So I have to leave now. It's almost 2:30. I think we started at 12. That's 2 hours, 30 minutes of my time gone already. So I think I have to leave us now. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And those that shared the flyer, I'm so grateful. You are still going to help me to share more flyers because I have Omni College coming up, and I trust you to support me to share the flyer as always. Omni College, 14th of this month. Omni College. If you want information about Omni College, it is really a very good one. From what I read, what I saw, from the prospect I see, Omni College is under rule. And this Omni College does not need PNP. It does not need all this stress of Canadian permanent residents, CIC Kiniko. They would help you. There's a way they tailor it to help you that you'll be able to come into Canada straight, no stress. You just have to be providing what they need because it's a step-by-step guide. So 14th of April, if you want Omni College, this is the last question I will take, please, so that I can attend to my son. I've not seen him in over 2 hours. Is it that we are LPM before we challenge NCLEX after doing NAS? Okay, so after your NAS assessment, during the NAS assessment, make sure you put in for both LPN and RN. So that if RN does not click on time, you can start working as LPN like myself, right? So you are going to be working as LPN first, of course. Then after LPN, you can now, if your province now approves you to do NCLEX, you can now challenge NCLEX. Just like myself now, I'm looking at going to those provinces that allows us to do NCLEX right now. So once I move there, they'll give me ATT and I can write NCLEX. But right now, I practice as LPN. So before you can become RN, if you are in a province that does not allow you to challenge NCLEX straight, you can work as LPN, at least to still make some money. But when you work as LPN, it's better than working as HCA or as PSW or as a store person or as security or whatever job. LPN seems, if you work with agency in Canada, APSD gives you good money if you work with agencies in Canada. But if you work with government institution, the pay is like $25 to maybe $27 per hour. Some people pay 22. But if you work with agency, then your pay is around $30 to $40 per hour. Some can even pay you 45. So yes, so you can work as LPN before you do all that. Yes, for Omni College, I will not say it's not. I'm not going to say it's not expensive, but my main goal on this channel is to provide you information. Because for me, for someone like me, when I took a decision to attend Babcock University, I knew I was going to spend roughly $5 billion in Babcock University, which I still did eventually. But the money wasn't my problem. My advantage was that I finished on time. I became a baccalaureate on time. I had my bachelor's on time, which is good for me than going to strikes and spending 5. I ate long thing. How can I be spending 5 years for BSc when I already spent 3 years for RN? I'm going to go crazy. So I went into Babcock. I know it is expensive, but I still did regardless because I know what I wanted. So if you know you want something fast to come into Canada, then Omni College may just be easy for you. 14th would be live for Omni College. For the links, for Telegram links, send me a GM on Ife_Ofela on Instagram. For the Olufemloye Telegram link, please. I can't drop it here because I don't know if everybody wants it. And we are trying to limit the group. We're trying to make the group private right now. So thank you very much, everybody. I have to leave my YouTube studio now. I'll see you guys again on the 14th. The flyers will be out today. I'm going to be ending this broadcast. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining this live chat. If you want info about Omni College, there is no harm getting information. On the 14th, come and get information, then decide if you want it or not. After all, I'm not telling anybody to bring money for the information, and I'm not telling you that Omni College is not giving me money, or maybe you have to pay 10%. No, come and get information. And for Omni College, the only thing you're going to go through, it's not like it's going to be for Vicky or Sage. From what I know, you don't have to, it's not as rigorous as it is. Like they are already there to help you, to guide you through. So it's not like you're clueless. When you're not clueless something, I feel not being clueless alone is a gift, because when I got here, I was clueless and it really frustrated me. So if you have information, your problem is half solved. You just have to follow the information. So come and get information from Omni College if you're interested. And if you have people that are lawyers, friends, family, lawyers, they want to know how to practice in Canada as a lawyer, I am going to be live. We are going to be live again on We are going to be live again on 16 to talk to lawyers. If you, I'm inviting a barrister. If you have lawyers that want to practice here, your boyfriend, your husband is a lawyer, doesn't know how to go about it, I'm bringing a lawyer on the 16th. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Bye. I'll see you guys on the 14th for Omni College information. I'll see you guys on the 14th. Thank you so much. Bye for now.